about like bear bags as being something to like get rid of bears, except he didn't know what bear bags are.
Yeah, you collect the feces from the bears, you cover yourself in bear crap, and they leave you alone. Basically. Bear bags.
You cover yourself in bear crap and they leave you alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they figure that any human that weird needs help.
Yeah.
Doesn't need their attention.
They're like, whoa, okay.
All right,
I'm gonna slowly back
we were
away.
gonna eat you, but now you're covered in bear crap.
Yeah, exactly.
We were gonna eat you, but now you're just but then we'd be eating our own shit. So
right, no. Exactly. Yep. So
anyways,
those are bear bags.
Since you were
I started recording because I figured this would be a funny conversation. So we are recording now.
All right.
Okay, so hopefully we'll have more people in because Cynthia is trying to sit this one out, even though she is one of our best actors that we have on our roster.
Shawshank, that's a little tough, man.
Yeah, that's a little.
Morgan Freeman.
I was gonna say that's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. It's one of his lighter films.
I still want to put My Cousin Vinny on the roster because we haven't done that one.
Okay.
And I love that movie, like my favorite.
Okay,
movie.
I'll tell you what. We will do a 2-in-1 deal. If you do Shawshank with us tonight, I will get some of my finest folks to do My Cousin Vinny, myself included.
That's not fair because I had brought up My Cousin Vinny last time and we said we would do it.
I brought up Morgan Freeman a long time ago. It's just that
when? You brought it up like yesterday.
And wrong. See, now this goes out to all you folks who claim that Cynthia's on every episode. She's not.
No one said I was on every episode.
Controversy strikes.
Actually, they did. I think you weren't on that episode.
When they said I'm not on all of them, but I'm on most.
All right. Well, this was not one of the most. How's that? This was one that you were not on. Okay. As a matter of fact, we mentioned it a few times, but when
Morgan Freeman's too hard.
No, actually, I do a good Morgan Freeman, which is why I want to.
We mentioned it a few times, like
wanted to flex your acting chops.
Yes, exactly. This is one where I can actually do the accent kind of well. And so here's the story. We wanted to do Lean On Me, and I searched and searched, and the Lean On Me scripts did not have the actor did not have the character speaking. It just had the script. And so I kept looking, and then Ish started looking with me, and he finally found it on Amazon, and you have to pay for it. He's like, this is why you haven't been able to find a real script. They're selling it on Amazon.
Because they're selling it on Amazon.
So then...
Speaking of, where the heck is he?
Ish, last I spoke to Ish, he said he had been doing construction work again, and that he had been tired, and he was probably going to be like off for like a few days from doing
Slade,
this
you
stuff.
know where you should grab some scripts? You know, like, I don't know if they're everywhere, but I know down in Soho they have people selling movie scripts. Like, hard copies, you should pick some up.
You're talking about, wrong. You're talking about leaving my apartment in this crazy atmosphere.
Well, not now. I'm just saying it's
all the way to Soho. No, we're in the digital. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm one of the younger people on this thing. I keep telling I keep telling these young folks that we have these devices. This is where the scripts are. You don't need to go to Soho.
Yeah, but then it's so annoying because then it jumps all the way to the beginning. You're like, oh, hold on, wait. You have to scroll through.
Not if you turn your phone sideways.
You got. Yeah, that's right. Not if you do it sideways. So thank you, Emily.
Well, it never happens on paper.
That is true, but you know what else never happens on my phone? I don't get COVID.
You know, there's also a such thing called a printer, right?
You have a printer at home?
That sounds like a.
I don't have a printer.
Yeah.
Well, I am a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a point of privilege. I certainly don't have a printer.
Yeah.
What? So I have teacher privilege by having like a printer?
Yes,
I don't know if it's so
absolutely.
much a privilege as a curse, Emily.
Yeah, I
The
don't know.
people with printers, hardware, you know, I certainly don't live that lifestyle where I can afford a printer.
I used to have a printer when I was in college, but never
yeah,
I
really
used
that
to
was
have
Somebody
a
back.
bought
printer
us.
too, but
That
it
was
broke.
back in the days.
Yeah.
That was back in the olden days of printing things. Although I have to say, one of the things I am looking forward to is that they're talking about making schoolwork all digital
That makes sense.
when we go
Might
Might
back,
as
like
well.
so we don't have to touch kids' papers. So that means that
And
I'm
then you
not
don't
going to
have
have to
to.
deal with paper jams on the
Yeah, and you
Xerox
don't have to
machine.
carry all of those papers back and forth. I mean, they should have all the books. Well, I shouldn't say all of them. If you can't afford a laptop or a smartphone, then that could be challenging. But they should find a way to digitize as much as possible.
Yeah, because you might actually save money getting a laptop for the kids, if you digitize all your work.
Yeah.
Well, the kids signed out. They were offered Chromebooks for remote learning.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Chromebooks are yeah, they're cheaper, and they're certainly probably going to use it for
So the
work. So that's
question
good.
is like, what? I mean, we offered Chromebooks to all kids who needed them for remote learning.
Yeah.
So that was contingent on them actually feeling comfortable leaving the house to go pick up the Chromebook, and
Okay.
B having Wi-Fi at home.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I like that you do the pinky, Emily. I just noticed.
Yeah, she's fancy.
oh,
She's got a printer at home. What do you expect?
I didn't even realize I do
That's her
that.
printer. That's her printer
Why in
finger.
my
It's
face?
a printer finger. It's just ding, 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 ding,
You've
ding.
got to keep the printer finger pristine.
So who
Yeah.
else are we expecting?
The usual. I never really say expecting anyone because how it
Okay.
is. We have folks. I'm just gonna be nice and call them creative types, who you never know.
Flakes.
They're not here. You don't have to be nice.
Hello.
Wait, he's answering a call. So Cynthia, why are you in the
Yeah, one
dark?
second.
I'm not in the dark.
You're not? Why can't I barely see you?
Because I don't know. I didn't turn
Okay,
on
we
my
don't want to
remote.
see you. You don't want to be seen.
Why
What
do
are
you
you
need to
doing
see
over
me?
there?
No, I'm just
What?
curious. That's all.
Yes, you're. Well, why aren't you playing the game? Like, why are you waiting for your tea? Oh. No. It made it look like you were recording me using my computer, and you took a picture of me sleeping last night.
Oh,
Can we
this
see
this may
that
be
picture?
this may be private stuff, Emily. Private stuff.
No, it's not. It's not private stuff. I fell asleep on the couch last night, and he took a picture of me while I was
Oh,
sleeping.
he's getting blackmail ready. You better be careful, Emily.
Oh well, no, I've done the same thing. So,
Oh, so
I
it's
want to
it's a
see the
mutual
picture.
kink.
so all is fair and all is fair is fair. All is fair, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Cynthia says she wants to see the picture.
Oh, does she?
Well, I'm just saying, you know.
Oh, darn. Well,
Oh, you look comfy.
Did he wake you up to go to bed, or he just let you sleep there to not bother you?
oh, well, he tried a few times, but then I didn't take him up on it until 4 a.m.
Oh my god. It's like you're still living that canvasser life.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. I mean, falling asleep on the couch, like, that never stops in my family, though. Like,
Yeah.
we were waking my dad up from the couch at 3 in the morning when he was in his 60s. So
I've been doing it since I was a kid. Falling asleep on other people's couches. My couch.
other people's couches when you were a kid.
Yeah.
What, like you would go over to a friend's house and then just fall asleep on the couch?
No, like my cousin's house, which was like right downstairs.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's so embarrassing though to be walked in on while you're sleeping.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, depending on who does the walking in on you. I mean, there's worse things one could be walked in on doing it.
I've
As
had
a
that
kid.
too. Oh, not as a kid.
Well, let me rephrase this. There's worse things that an adult could be walked in on
Yeah.
doing by a kid,
For sure.
thus
That's-
allowing the kid
Actually,
to be
well, the
scarred for
kids
life.
don't really understand as much as an adult would. I would be more embarrassed if an adult walked in on me doing something that really shouldn't be me.
Well, think about when it's your teenage kid.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's gross.
and I've been I've been the teenage kid in that
Oh,
situation.
gross. Gross, gross, gross. Mom and dad doing it. Oh.
Well, I mean, you know, they had to have. I mean, it's not like I didn't know that they had to have at least twice.
I don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking
'Cause
about,
there's two
Emily. I was
kids.
I was the immaculate conception. I don't
There's a huge difference between knowledge and
and realization.
witnessing.
And realization.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
That
Oh,
that
man.
would be anybody I know. Like, you know what happens, but you don't want to see it.
I mean, I don't want. That's kind of true. I don't want to think about like. That-
Yeah. You just have to shake it out of your head.
Although I always think it's a funny story that I tell people that I was most likely conceived in a dorm room.
Really? Your parents
mean,
had
it's
you when
not-
they were that young?
No, it's not as sordid as you think. Like at the time, it was when my dad was a young professor, and the school
Oh.
had like faculty apartments in the
Oh, okay.
dorms.
Faculty apartments? I've never heard of that.
I mean, they were gone by like the late 80s.
Oh.
It would have been before you were born, but
Man, that is teacher privilege. We were just joking before, but
I know. Well, no, but like they had apartments for like faculty members who couldn't like. They had apartments for like faculty members at reduced rates.
right, makes sense.
So like in exchange for them, like, you know, making sure that the students don't get alcohol poisoning.
So an RA, essentially, that's also a professor.
Yeah, because I mean, although by that point they would have been about the same age. They would have been about your age now, Cynthia, because my mom was 31 when had just turned 31 when I was born. So they weren't ridiculously young, but they weren't ridiculously old either.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Yes,
still young enough.
me and Flav are ridiculously old.
No,
I'm throwing you out there, Flav. You heard
It's
me.
all good. I've got my young digital makeup on to make me look younger.
I see, and you're using that fancy technology.
Yep. So they gave me flat water instead of sprinkling water. Really?
Oh, that sucks.
oh
Yeah,
no, it's
I don't.
customer
I don't pay
service
for.
complaint.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
pay for flat water. I have my free water that I drink every day out of the tap.
Mm-hmm.
It's already a stretch thing for
We're getting into this customer
Sparkling.
service thing again.
water. No, you're not.
So
What am
anyways,
I about?
I always think it's a funny. I always think it's a funny thing to tell people just for the shock value on people's faces that I was conceived in a dorm.
Yeah, no, it's a great story. It's
But
probably where you got your printer from. Ah!
no. No, Misha ordered the printer.
How is Misha doing? Let's see him. Does he exist?
Yes, he does exist. He was
He
making
lives.
he does exist. He was making his tea in the other room.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
But no,
really
like
sad.
what's sad?
Just lack of sparkling water.
Oh, first world problems, dude.
Definitely, I was gonna say myself.
Are you gonna complain next that you don't have Douce instead of Hennessy? That you only have Hennessy and not Douce?
If I paid for Douce and I got Hennessy, that would be a major complaint. There's a big price difference. Yes, absolutely.
What the hell is Douce?
Douce is Jay-Z's cognac.
Oh.
What? Or what if you bought? Or what if you bought something that was supposed to be THC infused and it was only CBD infused? Would you ask for a refund?
You know what? As a smoker, you should never even ask that question. That's a ridiculous question. I mean, the two are like, it's like,
I was also kidding, you know.
yeah, but it's still, even in jest. I mean, one's really just going to put you to sleep, maybe make you feel a little bit better. That's about it. They're like really not close to the same at all.
No, that would just be an instance of like getting the wrong thing, not getting an inferior product.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like getting cigarettes instead of weed. Like, oh, we can smoke both of them.
No,
What's the
that's
problem?
worse. That's worse because cigarettes smell bad.
It's true.
Like, I mean, all tobacco smells bad.
I feel like, I don't know, BDs don't smell as bad.
Well, hookahs don't smell bad.
Yeah.
Cigars
smells
don't smell
good.
bad to me.
Depends on the cigar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
true.
depends.
True.
I mean, I'm okay with like this. I'm okay with like different like different scents of like black and milds. For other people, not for myself. But I'm not gonna bite their heads off if they're smoking them around me. Like I might bite their heads off with a cigarette.
Yeah, that's, whenever I had the window open, I always had to like switch the fan to exhaust when people were like smoking anywhere near the window. I couldn't actually see them, but wherever they were, you can always tell when someone's smoking. It would go like right in the window.
We used to have issues with people smoking cigarettes outside our door, and it was so bad. We like our apartment door, and it was so bad we had to get that I actually put an air purifier on my wedding registry.
Wait a minute, you mean inside the building?
Yeah, I mean it hasn't happened in a while. Mind you, this was like 10 years ago.
Oh, you don't have one of those buildings where you're not supposed to smoke cigarettes inside?
Well, nobody
Pays attention
yeah,
to that.
even if it was one of those buildings, nobody pays attention to that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I find it hard. I find it hard to believe, based on like personal experience of what I've actually witnessed in recent months. Supposedly, like public housing buildings are no smoking now, and I find that hard to believe given what I've actually witnessed in NYCHA buildings.
Yeah.
which
Yes,
had
some of those buildings are in such bad shape. And some people just like literally crap all over those buildings, like outside. And like there's some buildings I was just like, my skin was crawling, like the whole perimeter of the outside. It's like they had
I
just
mean,
walked
even it's
dogs
just
and
even
just
the
like let them do
neighborhood.
their business.
Yeah.
I
Even the
mean-
neighborhood I'm in, I'm getting tired of how fucking dirty and disgusting.
Of how dirty it is.
Yeah, it's just really considering leaving.
what do you mean? Because of people littering, or
Oh, it's just fucking nasty. Just so much. Yeah, I mean, litter is a huge problem. Also, there's so many like drug addicts just walking around. And,
You're a little bit quiet, Cynthia. You're a little bit muted.
yeah, we can't
Really?
hear you very well.
Hello? Still can't hear me?
Now
Now
we
we can.
can.
We can now.
That was weird. I didn't do anything different.
Yeah, I mean, you're still a little bit quiet, but not as bad before.
No, it's kind of true though, because like around where, like around like for years, like around where you're at, Cynthia, like there's been like I've spent a fair amount of time in your neighborhood because I have
Stalking
friends.
laws.
No, I have other friends who live in the same neighborhood
I'm kidding.
as you, Cynthia, and it's like, you know, and there seems to be an issue of like homeless people, or maybe not. We've been through this already. I can't assume that they're homeless, but
They're homeless.
drifters in general. Like
Who's
on this,
west? Who's east between you two?
I'm east.
I'm on the
She's
west side.
Oh, okay, that's what I guessed. Yeah.
But like there seems to have been like an ongoing issue like for years on the east side with people on the street like totally like knocked out on smoking K2, on smoking synthetic weed, which number one smells like friggin' plastic,
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
and number two, and I think it's because like I think people wouldn't like K2 would not be an issue or as much of an issue if it wasn't for like drug testing for marijuana, because a lot of people smoke like the synthetic stuff instead of the real stuff because the synthetic stuff doesn't show up on a drug test.
What are you talking about for people who need like services from the city or?
Or people who are like on criminal probation and are getting drug tested.
Oh,
Like-
okay.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Like they're smoking K2 instead of like
Yeah.
instead of smoking regular weed because they don't want to like basically, for lack of a better term, pop a piss test.
Yeah.
I mean, or like people who are like working in jobs where they drug test, which,
I don't think these people on the streets that I see have jobs.
well, not those specific people, but I
Oh.
think there's some people where that is a legit concern.
Yeah.
Maybe not these specific, maybe not your friendly neighbors, but
Mm-hmm.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Huh?
No,
I
just a bad
miss
joke.
I miss being in my old neighborhood.
Gotcha. I was picking up on what you were laying down, Raul.
Thank you, sir.
But like, you miss being in your old neighborhood? Is that what you said, Cynthia?
Yeah, in Ridgewood. I'm actually seeing an apartment there tomorrow.
You're quiet again.
Now we can't hear
I don't know
you.
what's going on.
Just start yelling.
You're really quiet.
It's 11 p.m.
Yeah, now we can't hear you.
Cynthia, just go to the, like, do you see the arrow next to the mute key?
Yeah.
If you click on that and go to audio settings,
You can make it more sensitive or something.
Can you hear
You
me
could-
now?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can increase your volume, is what I was gonna say.
No, I don't think I can. I just switched the microphone settings. So
Yeah,
I know
that's
that
that's what
That-
you can do.
That's
switch
what
the
it. That's what it
microphone
was.
Well,
anyway.
yeah.
Oh wait, because I had my Bluetooth headphones on yesterday. That's why.
Oh, so maybe it was like going to transferring to the wrong headphones. But you're saying you missed your old neighborhood in Ridgewood? Like,
Yeah, we're gonna go see an apartment tomorrow. In
Oh,
Ridgewood.
Ridgewood's a good neighborhood.
I just really like. I just miss. Not that it was like perfect, but God, it was so much cleaner and also not as much people. It had a more neighborhood vibe to it, which I really liked. Had a
That's
lot
kind of what I
neighborhood
got. I
bars.
got a neighborhood vibe.
it had kind of like a quieter vibe.
Yeah, I got that in Sunset.
And I
Quite a
know
vibe.
eventually I'll be moving back into Manhattan, but until then, I don't mind not being in Manhattan.
I thought you were gonna say eventually you'll want to settle down, be in a quieter neighborhood.
No, I mean I'm getting a co-op soon.
Oh, okay.
Not soon, in the next few years, so I know I'll be back. But it's just until then, I want to get some Queens lovin' in before I leave.
Although
for good.
hypothetically, you could be getting a co-op in another borough unless you're waiting on a specific co-op.
Yeah, I'm waiting on a specific co-op. So,
Because I know people, because I have friends who have a co-op in Forest Hills.
oh, Forest Hills is amazing. But even
Well,
Forest
that's
Hills,
Queens.
unless
That's
you
Queens,
unless
right?
you live in like
Yeah.
that area, like where all the houses are, it's kind of busy. Like Austin Street is
Yeah.
kind of busy.
Yeah, there's
So-
definitely
Yeah, Forest
pretty
Hills is
busy.
kind of busy.
Yeah, so it doesn't have that as much of a neighborhood vibe as I do in Ridgewood. But also, I haven't walked beyond Austin Street, like farther down Austin Street. I know it
Farther
gets like a
down
little
is
more
more
residential.
residential.
Yeah, I should look into it.
But like, or like, and I don't think anybody wants to live this far out because like transportation becomes a pain in the butt. But like,
Don't say the Bronx.
no, I was gonna say like where a lot of my kids live in Queens is like houses,
Yeah.
but like that's like far out Queens.
Where in Queens are they? Like
Like
Fresh Meadows?
a couple in Fresh
Bayside.
Meadows, mainly like Cambria Heights, Rosedale.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Cambria
that's far.
Heights is like one of like the black centers of like middle class wealth.
Oh, really? Interesting. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. In Queens?
In general, but I
Oh,
mean
okay.
certainly in Queens and in New York, but it's known for being like a center of like black wealth.
Oh, shit. That's
Yeah.
so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like not like a fair amount, but a few of my kids live there.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of my kids live in Jamaica proper, but
Yeah.
which that's busy. Like
Mm-hmm.
I
God, yeah.
always compare Jamaica Ave to 120. Like that's my comparison is like Jamaica Ave and 125th Street.
Mm-hmm.
I really miss the thrift store I used to go to on 125th Street. Unfortunately, it doesn't have good politics. It's a what's the one that's like kind of religious orientated?
Salvation Army.
Salvation Army,
Salvation, yeah.
A
the one
little,
at
they're
125th
really-
and 3rd.
Yeah,
They're
they're
really
they're like
religious.
a
Yeah.
cult. Yeah.
Yeah, but man, I used to get like everything from Jordans to like bathing apes, and we're talking like $5 and $10, and like
For Jordans?
Yeah.
No.
I don't. Yes.
No.
So
Really?
yeah,
That's
right
I
on
mean, I don't think
125th.
I doubt they were in mint condition. But
They were pretty damn good. I mean, no, I'm sure like for like a sneakerhead or something, it's not like you're gonna be licking the bottom of the sneaker and being like, these came out of the box. But
Yeah.
I got some pretty
well,
nice
I
stuff
don't even
there.
lick the bottom of my sneakers. Come on.
True.
proof, Emily.
Yeah, no one's got any proof of that statement. Especially,
Poor Emily.
especially if you're a sneakerhead. But
Yeah.
speaking of Fat Joe, that's I'll never forget the what's the show where they brag about Cribs. I'll never
Cribs.
forget the Cribs episode where he's showing you all of his sneakers and he's proving to you that he hasn't worn them yet, and he's licking the bottom of his sneakers.
Ew! What the fuck?
Well, you know,
Because
I mean,
hypothetically, if he hasn't worn the sneakers yet, like,
Ew! I wouldn't even lick clean sneakers. You don't know what they do in the store when people try it on.
no. Sorry,
kind of
Cynthia. I think this is way above your pay grade here.
Excuse me?
We're not.
What does that mean?
Dude, we're talking about a sneakerhead who's a millionaire. He's not getting shoes that were tried on in the store and then licking the bottom.
I can see that.
So you're saying there are no other millionaires that might be interested in the same shoes that the person that bought it is interested in? They're the only
Again, this is way above your pay grade.
Oh my God.
They're not like trying these sneakers on, Cynthia.
They're just getting
That's
them
just not
mailed
what's-
to them.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
That's just not
from the
what's happening.
factory.
Yeah, the person that bought it isn't wearing them, but people do try on sneakers.
And this isn't
Not to walk around in.
Going into see again, way above your pay grade. This is not what we're doing. He's not going into a Macy's saying.
How do you know that? Are you his friend? How the fuck do you know? This is above your pay grade.
Because the guy wouldn't be licking. Because the guy wouldn't be licking the sneakers if that was the case. And because I have a great imagination.
I love this discussion, by the way. This is my favorite discussion that's happened so far.
Okay, so you think Fat Joe went into a Macy's and said, "Oh,
Fat Joe hasn't been irrelevant since like the fucking 90s, okay?
Wrong again. He's come out with a lot of stuff.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has.
But he's also not Fat Joe anymore. He's Medium Joe.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of weight.
All right, mom joke.
Usually that's my style.
So you think Fat Joe is going into Macy's saying,
Not
let me get a new,
shops at Macy's
he's going into Foot Locker.
Not
and
Foot
he's
Locker.
like, let me get a brand new pair of sneakers. And so they're like, oh, yeah, let me show you this pair of sneakers. It's a size 12. And he's like, cool. And then he puts them in the box, and then he takes them home. And then when Cribs shows up, he opens the box, licks them. Then he's like, oh, shit, I hope no one else tried these on, being that I bought them from a Foot Locker where, hundreds of other people could have tried them on. I'm sure these
It's not about people trying them on. It's what the bottom of the soles have touched, which I guarantee you it has touched a floor. That's fucking nasty.
How so?
That's disgusting.
You mean like after
Do you
they
think
were
the
finished?
Do you think the shoes are manufactured in a vacuum where there's no bacteria, nothing?
No. I just doubt that they touched a floor, but I mean you're right. There could be tons of bacteria on that.
I must have forgotten the part where you say you make shoes, so you know the entire process of these shoes.
No, it's just the I can.
You're making a lot of
like,
assumptions based on how
get ass out of you.
Yeah, it's rich people. It's rich people shit, Cynthia. What can I say?
And you're not rich, so how would you know?
Well, first of all, you don't know my finances.
Flav? Are you rich, Flav? Are you rich?
We don't speak
Okay, now you're too loud, Cynthia.
We don't speak of our finances that way. It's rather gauche, Cynthia.
Oh, please. I'll talk about finances. Let's go.
Yeah, we don't speak of such things.
Of course.
Well, I'm a teacher. That's all you need to know. we don't get paid nearly enough for the amount of BS that we put up with.
I feel like some teachers are paid a decent amount.
Yeah, and New York is better than most of the country. I had to march with the teachers locally so that they could get paid like halfway decent for the area.
No, it is better in New York.
Yeah, that's in general for everything though in New York.
But here's the thing about in New York, it's like, yes, some teachers do after they reach a certain longevity get paid I think it's like when they like when they've worked like 15 years or something.
Okay,
like
yeah.
they make like they start to make six figures, but it's very hard
Mhm.
to
After
get
15
to that
years,
point.
that's not bad.
But it's hard. But here's the point: is that it's hard to get to that point because with the way the New York City DOE is,
They try to get rid of you. You mean?
they try to push people out before they have like any semblance of longevity in the
Really?
system.
And the whole
How do they
political
do that?
climate has swung against teachers too,
Exactly.
including Cuomo and his lot.
How do they push you out? Try to
Well,
force
just
you to quit.
like they make you like either they don't give you tenure
Mhm.
or like they just make your life, if you do already have tenure, they just make your life miserable or they quote unquote excess you from your school or make like, God, I hate to say this word, trumped up charges.
Uh-huh.
Or try to
Like,
look at your stats and like say you're not doing so well.
yeah, things like that. So
I
like
used to think tenure came after 10 years.
so
Isn't
did
it after 7?
it's after 4.
4?
I
Wow.
think
Or maybe it's
7.
different for each profession.
It's
'Cause I think
7
for
for college professors.
That's what I'm thinking of, yeah. I'm thinking of Ross from Friends.
But like, but at any rate, it's just like, it's the whole thing is just like, if they can't find something to get you on, they'll just like find some way to make your life so miserable that you quit.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Like, and I think a lot of it is like because they're trying to prevent people from getting the longevity in to pay them more. And also they're trying to prevent paying out on their pensions.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the
horrible.
real key.
That's horrible.
Like, but you know who gets hurt the most by it is the kids.
Mhm.
Sure, because they don't have stable professional teachers. They have constantly influxing teachers.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, you don't really know what the hell you're doing totally as a teacher until you've been teaching for like 5-6 years.
Right, it makes
Like,
sense.
You know who it really hurts though? The boys in blue, who like, just want to like protect the teachers and the kids, and
How can you say that with a straight face, Flav?
I mean
I know.
they get attached.
No, I'm
to
not
the
falling into this again like I did with the Mexican babies in baskets.
Flav, you've been discovered.
I really needed Ish to back me up on this. That would have been it. It was a tag team. It was really Ish started it, and I just kind of
Yeah, he started it.
went along with it. It was a beautiful thing. It was.
Aw.
But I think the best line was, the basket was good enough for Moses.
That was you. You cannot blame Ish for
Oh,
that
that
one.
was me. That was me. Yes.
Your line.
Yeah, I was like,
That
the
was your
basket
line.
was good enough for Moses.
No wonder you admired
hate
it so
Moses?
much, Flav.
Yeah, sometimes I just sit back and admire my own work. What can I say?
That's right. You have to, or else nobody else will.
Exactly.
But anyways, that's when I learned not to fall for it anymore. That's when I learned my own weakness of being gullible.
Hey,
Just means you're nice.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I still can't read Ish's sarcasm because I think he has this unique, like, there's no difference from when he's talking and he's being straight up and when he's being sarcastic. And sometimes,
But here's the thing: like he could say excuse my French, American, but he could say like the most fucked up shit with a perfectly straight face.
yeah, or sometimes you just think he's being blunt, like, or like even like in the chat sometimes like we'll talk about like another episode was posted, and it'll be like, yeah, so what you think about the episode? And he'll be like, it was stupid. And I'll be like, what? What are you talking about?
He'd be
And
like,
he's
it was
"No,
trash.
yeah, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I don't know. Most of the time, this was an exception. Most of the time, I could usually pick it up, the sarcasm, but that's probably because, like, people have accused me of the same thing, saying the most messed up stuff, like, with a straight face. So.
Yeah, see, I've never really gotten that from you, though. Not like I have from Ish. Maybe it's like a different set of, like, he'll say some shit that'll just be like, wow, that was, like, really blunt, you know?
No, I used to, well, then again, the person who said that I'm like that the most is one of the most gullible people that I've ever met. So,
Oh, well, yeah, there you go.
like,
It's not nice talking about me that way, Emily. It's just not nice.
Yeah, he's right here.
I'm right here,
I'm not
I have
talking-
feelings. I
I'm not
have feelings,
referring to
Emily.
you. I'm not referring to you, trust me. Look, I am referring to somebody that the other two people here know, but
Gotcha.
not to you.
No need to explain.
Does it begin with a J?
Yeah, it begins with a J and ends with an N.
Oh, that's who I thought it was. That was the first person who I thought it was.
Who are you talking about? What about him?
No one. I'm not talking about anyone.
What
We're
about
not
him?
talking.
We'll put the name in the chat.
Is
we're
it someone
talking
I
about
know? I have a feeling it's someone I know.
Yeah, we're talking about gullible. We're talking about
Oh,
someone
okay.
who's gullible.
Aww.
But
Poor
that
guy.
person, like, seems to think that I have the ability to say the most messed up things with the straightest of face. I don't think I have a straight face. I don't
That's
think
Yeah, I
fine.
have
figured
a
that
straight
out,
face,
Emily.
though.
I figured it out. Just from the letters.
All right, I'll be back in a sec.
But I mean, I'm a little less, like, straight-faced about it. But I always have kind of had, like, the sarcastic sense of humor.
Really?
Depending on the person, depending on, oh,
The dude is playing with you.
I just fell
No,
into
I'm
the
not.
trap.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you were. So,
No.
I thought you were being sarcastic.
yeah.
No.
No, but I'm like that. I'm more like that with, like, my family or, like, Misha, like, people that I'm around constantly.
That makes sense, I guess. That's so smart.
Like, like, no, Misha, I think your rant is the dumbest thing ever.
Poor Misha.
Poor guy.
Poor guy.
Where did Flav go? It's almost 12. Oh boy.
Maybe he went to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's probably where he went. Although I'm
Like-
not going to ask.
I'm not gonna ask how everything came out, but
I'll leave Emily to that wonderful job.
no, no. No.
No. Okay.
I
Then
mean,
it will remain a mystery.
I'm not asking if everything came out, okay? That's for my mother to ask me.
Oh God. Speaking of which, yeah.
And I've already had a 2.5 hour conversation with her today. I don't need any more.
With your mom?
Yes. Well,
You had a 2-hour conversation with a woman that you don't really want to talk to. That's crazy.
It's very hard to explain. Like, it's not really me talking to her. It's more like a monologue.
And you
And
just say, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Mhm.
you just
Sure,
keep, like,
sure.
you just keep trying to, like, excuse yourself. and
Oh,
you
yeah.
just can't. Like,
It's like when my grandma tries talking to me. I'm like, yeah, okay. And my
well,
mom.
my brother actually, he told me straight up, he actually started putting himself, like, you know how, like, sometimes, like, Ish or KD will go total ghost and, like, mute their mics, but they're still listening.
Yeah.
Like, my brother will do that on the phone with my mom. Like, he'll put in, like, a pair of Bluetooth headphones, like, put himself on mute and just listen to her talk while he's, like, cleaning the house or something, and then, like, every once in a while he'll unmute himself for, like, a well-placed oh yeah.
Strategic,
Yeah.
strategic.
I honestly don't even listen. I just put it down and let them talk because they can just keep themselves going for a while.
And that's because I complained that like she was upset that I hadn't called in a while, but it's like, you know, there's some people that, like, it's almost like you can't call them because you don't have 2 hours to spare on the phone.
Why don't you just hang up?
You know what I mean? Because I'm not that confrontational.
Oh.
Because I feel like that would cause more anguish than I'm willing to deal with. But
Get the fuck out
like,
of here. Talking to them is more anguish than you need to deal with. Ooh.
Well, sometimes yes, but dealing with the ensuing passive aggressivity is
What?
even worse.
What'd you say?
dealing with the passive aggressive anger that comes afterward is like
Just don't listen to it. Move on with your life.
You should be a life coach, Cynthia. Just don't listen to people's bullcrap.
Yeah, no.
Move on.
Do you know how often I shouldn't say this while we're recording, but yeah, I don't really ever talk to people that I don't want to talk to. Why do I have to subject myself to that?
I agree with that.
Like, you're a grown-up. Be a grown-up. They have no power over you.
Well, I mean,
They're
that's
gonna call me and shout orders at me? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, it is weird, though, because, like, some people definitely are more independent adults than others.
Which is sad. It annoys me when people's parents still have control over them. It's like, did you not grow up? You know? It's
Well,
one thing to be, like, respectful. It's another to be like, oh, their word is, like, the final word. It's
oh,
like,
well,
yourself,
yeah.
man.
And I don't think, like, that. I don't really think that I know anybody who's, like, an adult and thinks that their parents' word is the final word. Like, I think there's, like, plenty of people who just, like, sometimes keep their mouths shut just
Appease.
just out of appease or respect, but
Yeah.
like,
What is that?
Raul, you always come up with the word that I'm thinking.
I'm good with with interaction. It's the only thing I'm good at.
Well, if you're gonna be good at something, that's
Yeah, sure.
what you want to be good
Sure.
at.
I do have a lot of respect for people who are able to, like, keep their cool. You know? Like, if they're talking to someone that just really annoys them, but they're able to, like, just, yep,
Thank you.
okay, yeah.
For sure.
well, yeah, that's my brother. My brother is like my brother is like that, but like he's very good at, like, kind of just, like, ignoring, like, and just being like, yeah,
When he actually listens, though, or when he puts the phone down to, like, do other things.
No,
like,
when he actually listens too, he's
wow.
like,
Good
he's
for him.
pretty patient with people, like,
Mm-hmm.
talking at him, or even people, like, making jokes at his expense, which they shouldn't do. But
Aww,
like,
why would they do that?
oh, it's stupid. Like, I feel bad for him, actually. My, like, my mom makes, like, comments thinking that she's joking about the fact that he's already started, that his hair is already starting to thin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
That's rude.
yeah, I'm like, what do you, but he takes it and, like, kind of just, like, ignores it because, like, he doesn't, because he doesn't really want to be rude,
Uh-huh.
but at the same, he doesn't want to start something,
Uh-huh.
but, like, at the same time, like, I know he's kind of self-conscious about the fact that he's, like, you know, already but his hair is already starting to thin, like, at age 31.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of people's hair is like that, but also there's no point in bringing up like something about someone that they can't really change.
Yeah.
They can't really,
Yeah,
that
like,
they can't really
can't
control
change
it.
it
All
in,
he
like,
can do is
2
like get a
seconds.
short, except for getting a short haircut, you know.
But even then, like, his hair is still thinning
Or
unless he
use
shaves it
Bosley.
more. Like, what's the point? If you can't fix it, like, there's food in your teeth, you can just quickly fix it. Then
Right.
maybe say something. But
Does
like,
he have a short haircut at least?
Not like, that's the thing. It's not too short. Like, it's probably like, what's longer than yours? It's probably, I'm trying to think of somebody whose hair, like, whose hair is, who is, who his hair is like it's longer than, it's probably about the length of, like,
Sam?
Sam maybe, but, like, flatter, if
Okay.
that makes
Is
sense.
his hair, is he balding or his hair is thinning? So like he still has a lot of hair, or he still has hair, but it's just not as full as it used to be.
Yeah, no, he still has hair. It's just not as full as it used to be.
Oh, okay. So that's not too bad. I know people that were balding like before 30.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I mean, I already have gray hair,
mm-hmm.
so I just do a good job at covering them up.
Me too. I think I'm gonna say this now because I know once it starts it might be different, but I think if I had more white hair, I would just embrace it. Right now I think I have 2 permanent ones on the top of my head. They keep coming back. I keep plucking them.
I mean, I have a few that are on, like, the edges, like around the edges, like around here ish.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually kind of just like cover them up and ignore them.
Mm-hmm.
But even like, during COVID, when I wasn't exactly like going to the hairdresser, like, it wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm. Do you think
Like,
you're
it was,
gonna continue to dye your hair, or if it gets to the point where you have so much, you're just gonna embrace it?
I mean, that's a good question. I don't know, because, like, I feel like that, like, more recently, like, in the past few years, like, a lot of my hair dyeing has been, like, more for, like, dramatic effect than actually being concerned about my appearance,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that it's been more of, like, an artistic thing, like,
Yeah, then a covering up thing.
than, like, when I
You could always do
had it
both.
red.
That's
Well,
true.
when I had it red for years, like, that was, like, me wanting to be a redhead
Mm-hmm.
for, like, a period of time, or, like, now it's, like, me not really wanting to be a redhead anymore.
Have
Like,
you thought about blonde?
I don't think I could go, like, ridiculous, like, really light blonde, like dirty blonde maybe, but I don't think I think my complexion would look weird with like straw blonde.
Mm-hmm. You can always use a filter to see what you'd look like. But yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like light blonde wouldn't fit you because you have dark eyes and you know.
well, especially in the summer, like, because, like, most normal summers when there's no COVID,
Mm-hmm.
I tend to get tanner than I tend to tan pretty
Mhm.
easily,
Yeah.
which is hence when people start to ask me for directions on the street in Spanish. Like, it's the weirdest thing ever. I get asked for directions in Spanish on the street much more often even than Misha does.
Mhm.
Like, and I'm like, and I'm thinking, no, you want that guy. He's the one who actually speaks fluent Spanish.
Did he
But I
grow
mean,
up speaking Spanish?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
I don't think I've ever heard him speak Spanish.
well, and that's because you haven't heard him on the phone with his
Mm.
mother. But I mean, we speak Spanish in the house, like sometimes because I want to practice.
Yeah.
But like normally, like if he's out in public with people, like he's not gonna, like he doesn't speak Spanish unless like there's a really good reason to. Like if he goes into a store or something and he could sense that like, and he overhears that like the dude at the counter speaking Spanish to someone else, and and then even then, like he'll usually start by like speaking in English to the person, like he won't assume that they can't speak English.
Yeah.
But if they're having trouble understanding him, sometimes he'll switch to Spanish.
Mhm.
Like if he had already heard them speaking Spanish beforehand,
Yeah.
just to make, because at that point, like it'll just make them like he
More
feels
comfortable?
like that'll make them more comfortable. Like he feels like that, like there's not much point in making them like struggle to speak English
If
he
he
can
heard them speak Spanish, why doesn't he speak to them in Spanish?
because he doesn't want to be like a jerk and assume that like they don't, and just assume that they're like immigrants who don't know English. But like
It doesn't seem like that would be a jerk to me, though, if you heard
Yeah,
them
it seems
speaking
like he's
Spanish.
just it clearly seems more natural to them if they're speaking Spanish. He knows Spanish, so it's not like
well, yeah, I mean, I think like he doesn't always like try to, like sometimes he'll just communicate like in Spanish like immediately if he gets the sense that like the person's more comfortable communicating in Spanish. Like if it's like a service person.
Yeah. I wish I stuck with Spanish after high school and college. I could be fluent by now.
Yeah, I wish I had taken Spanish instead of French.
You took French?
Yeah.
So did I, actually. Like the funny thing is though that now I speak more Spanish than French probably, because it's actually pretty easy to learn Spanish if you already know some French.
Yeah,
That
it's very
makes sense.
similar.
They're both like Romance languages, right?
Yeah,
They're
although for
Latin.
some odd reason it's very hard to go in the other direction. Like it's harder to learn French based on being a Spanish speaker than
Well, French is
learning
hard.
Spanish. Yeah, like Misha had trouble with French.
Did you take French too, Cynthia?
In college, I took a French class. Well, I say took very lightly because I missed the first class. And by the second class, I was like, what the hell did you go over in the first class? Because I'm so lost right now. I dropped the class. So
Yeah, I tried to take Latin.
So you
but
took French for a day.
yeah, I think
I
it
took
was more
Latin in
than
high
a day.
school.
It was a lot.
that was
Yeah.
my Latin experience. Was like being lost and not really paying attention.
That was me in Japanese. I love the culture. Like I learned all the cultural stuff, but I did not learn any of the language. I was just terrible at the language.
Japanese is a very hard language to learn, I hear. Like, I'm sure the basics are easy, but like once you actually get into it, like Spanish, once you get into like the irregular verbs, I was like, oh, you lost me. This is too much.
Spanish is relatively easy language. It's simple. It's got like half the words with. Yeah, that's true.
That's like saying English is easy because I speak English, but we know damn well it's not easy to learn English.
No, English actually has like twice the words that Spanish does.
I picked up some conversational Japanese.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to Japan. Well, I went to Japan when I was younger, and so.
Oh wow! You lived there?
No, it was like a 6-week foreign exchange program thing.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
So we had to learn, we had to go through an orientation and learn some basic conversational stuff.
That's awesome. I love the Japanese culture for the most part.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
They're just very respectful of other humans, as opposed to people here.
Yeah, like they wouldn't be like the jerks in America who say that wearing masks is an impingement on their personal freedom.
Yeah.
Well, their whole society is set up different.
That's what I was gonna say. Like the
whole culture is about, like, from a young age, it's instilled in them, like, to be responsible and to clean up after yourself and yada yada yada. It's just not.
Or like to wear a mask if you're sick, even with a cold.
Exactly.
Well, it's more than that. I mean, it's just like the whole way that the group, like, the whole way that they honor their family and that they go for the group, like, rather than the individual.
Yeah, like America is a very like excessively individualistic society. Sometimes I find.
Oh yeah. I call it the cult of the individual, Emily.
Because like people are like, well, I don't want my rights. Like, I don't care if I get sick, so why should I like? Even like now, I hear people talking about wearing masks as like people for COVID as like their way of being responsible for their own health, and I'm like, no, you're really missing the point here. Like, you wear a mask to protect others from you, not the other way around. And
well, that's ignorance on top of being an individual
well,
asshole.
I think it's also like the fact that like something that they could be contagious and not know it just does not compute in their brains. Like, they're like, I'm not sick, why should I have to like worry about getting others sick?
Yeah,
that's just ignorance.
You would think that people who think that way wouldn't believe in, like, God. Like, if you're not going to believe
problem.
Well, if you're not going to believe in something that you can't see,
that's such a good argument,
prove, then why do you believe in God?
Well, the
because they feel Jesus.
Well, no. What I call right-wing Jesus is a messed up individual. He's the guy with the AK-47, and he's white. So
Right-wing
militant
Jesus.
Christian.
Right-wing Jesus, yeah.
Left-wing Jesus is Bernie Sanders.
Left-wing Jesus is the actual Jesus. He was a guy who was against the government, for the poor, and loved children. I mean, give me a break. Does that sound anything right-wing to you?
I mean, Jesus started a riot over taxation. He turned over all the tables.
That's true.
Like, no, but I feel like that, like, a lot of people are like, well, I don't give a crap about your rights. I'm not going to be uncomfortable just to protect you, is what it comes down to. And I feel like being like, you idiot. Like, Misha's friend had a very good saying about this once, where Misha's friend, like, where he basically said about, like, people trying to assert their rights at the expense of others. Like, he basically said, you have a right to swing your fist, but that right ends where my face begins.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, you have a right to, like, you have a right to ruin your own health as much as possible.
Yeah.
But when you're starting to, like, when it comes into, like, getting people involved who didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
Like, that's different. Like, that's why, like,
as a society, we have to do a better job educating people.
But it's not just education, because, like, a lot of information has gone out about COVID. It's really about getting people to care. That's the hardest thing.
Well, that too.
I just think I like I said yesterday or the day before. Hello, mister.
No, don't run away. His butthole is so clean today.
That's great to know, Cynthia.
Good.
I can see.
I love it when when John comes on camera because I feel like he looks like a cute little lamb.
Yeah, I called him a dog by accident that one time. He's got
I mean,
like
he
a little
does.
bit of a chihuahua.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's-
gonna say. He does look a little bit like he could be a chihuahua.
Well, he is only 7 pounds, so he's pretty small.
My chihuahuas are fat though, apparently, because mine's
Why,
are
your
27.
chihuahuas are 10 pounds?
No, my
27 pounds?
my boy is 27 pounds, and my girl is well, no, but let me say he's mixed with a poodle, so he's bigger.
Oh my God, that's
And my girl is mixed with a terrier, so she's bigger than usual.
Okay, well,
No, I didn't want to put like the image of this little fat chihuahua, like couldn't reach to the floor and everything. That's
Waddling
pretty
around.
hilarious.
27 pounds for a chihuahua is massive.
Yeah, it is.
Aren't
Well,
they
he's a
usually,
strong
like,
dog.
2
He's
pounds?
a strong dog. He looks like a pit bull. Wait, have you seen it, Cynthia? Have I put it
wanna
up?
See.
Look at my background. I'll put up both one at a time.
Okay.
This is my boy,
Oh.
and he's
Okay,
sleeping. Of course, this is the only time that he's not crazy.
Is that
and
the terrier mix? Looks like the terrier.
No, that's the poodle mix. My boy.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
He looks pretty handsome, doesn't he? I mean, to be honest.
Okay. And the next one?
But this is my girl. Hold on. This is my terrier.
Oh.
Terrier Chihuahua.
I can
Terry.
see that. That one doesn't look big.
No, let me move my head. Look at her tummy.
Oh.
Yeah, but she's adorable. She's my little princess.
Yeah, she's so cute.
I'm a big man with a little dog, and I don't care.
So why a Chihuahua mix?
We just adopted them. I didn't know what they were when they were babies. I just adopted them out of ASCP, I believe.
ASPCA.
APCA shelter. Then the other one we adopted from a friend, the poodle mix.
Oh, that's so cute. I want a dog really badly, but
Dogs are great. I really
not
love
really.
my dogs.
yeah.
Oh, did you see my shirt? It's basically the reverse of my
Of your background?
background. Yeah.
Is that a
That's great.
logo of some sort?
The one on the back is a logo. The one on my shirt is just a freestanding drawing. I just like octopuses. Look at my tattoos.
Oh wow!
Octopi. Yeah,
You
octopi.
really like them.
I do.
Yeah.
And I would
Octopi
have a
Wall
back
Street.
piece.
All
What?
day, all week. Occupy Wall Street.
That's right.
You should get a shirt that says that.
That's hilarious. I
Occupy Wall
would.
Street.
Well, they are
Octopi
very
would.
intelligent, so I don't.
They
blame
are
you.
very
That
intelligent.
reminded me of the conversation we had earlier about, other animals and how intelligent they are compared to humans.
Yeah, exactly.
It always
I
makes
actually
me
think they're
sad
the
to
next
see-
ones up. After
Yeah,
we're
it
gone,
always makes me
octopus.
sad to see people eating and cutting up octopi.
I never
Yeah.
would. I never would. Once I got my tattoos, I said never again. I'm never eating an
'Cause they're
octopus again.
They're like really intelligent.
Yeah.
They are, and they communicate solely through color. They flush their skin with different patterns and colors, and that's how they communicate. Which we still don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, it's almost like a psychic way of communication to me.
Well,
But
it's
that's
very
like-
fast, is what the experts say, and so they can
Okay.
communicate a lot of information very quickly,
Just by color.
just by color and flushing their skin different patterns.
Oh, okay. And what about ink?
Ink is just a defense mechanism that they developed over millennia.
Oh, okay. So we're strictly talking the color of their skin, not like
That's
what,
right.
What shoots
That's
out.
right. That's right.
And what about squid? What about squid as opposed to octopi?
Squid are like, the difference between a tree monkey, like a howler monkey, and like a chimpanzee. That's
I
the
was
difference.
about to say. Okay, I was about to say that could be the analogy.
That's
so-
the analogy. Yeah.
So the octopus would be like the
Way
humans.
superior. Way
The
superior.
octopus would be the humans as compared to monkeys.
So
Yes,
you
absolutely.
still eat squid?
No, well, calamari once in a while. Yeah, once in a while, but not because they're dumb. Basically, they're not too bright.
Oh.
So that means you would eat monkey then.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't because
Well,
they're
that's
cute.
Like when I was a kid, we weren't allowed to eat. Like I was brought up never eating lamb, because my dad raised sheep when
Oh,
he was a
gotcha.
kid, and so he felt like a kinship with the sheep that he felt like he would. The way he used to put it, he would feel. He said he felt like he was being cannibalistic by eating like rack of lamb
Because he had raised
because
them. He had
because
loved
he
them.
felt such a connection to the sheep that he raised.
That's how
Yeah.
I think most people would feel if they actually were to raise and like raise up a lot of the animals that they do eat. Because it's so easy to like be okay with eating them if you're like at a hand's distance.
Yeah,
Although
that's
The
very true,
process.
Cynthia. That's
So
very
a
But if
true.
lot
you
of
actually had to do
cultures.
it, if you
Although
had
there
to,
were cows, like my dad was on a dairy farm, like there were cows.
Oh.
Like I think he just didn't like, take as close of a, but his responsibility was mainly to handle the sheep. So I think that's why
It stuck with him. It stuck with him.
yeah,
Interesting.
like the cows didn't really matter so much because like other people handled the cows, I guess.
Yeah.
But I bet if he handled the cows, he'd probably feel the same way as with the lamb.
No,
Right?
that's what I think. That's what I think too.
Yeah. What's
But
up?
also I think like we were never gonna give up like dairy probably because like as a family like my dad when growing up got used to like dairy being like
The
the
staple.
family source of or the source of income.
Oh,
So
gotcha. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you were upstate, right? That's like a
well
lot
yeah
of dairy farms up there.
it is, but I'm talking about like when he was a kid, like he didn't live in New York when he was a kid.
Oh, where is he from?
Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Like my family didn't come to like my parents didn't come like to New York State until after they were married.
Oh,
Like I was born like I was born in the state of New York, but I was the first one in my family to be an actual New Yorker.
were you conceived in the state of New York?
Well, that's a
Yes.
specific.
Yes, my parents had already been living in the same town for like 8 years by then.
Uh-huh.
Like
Baby, want me to pet you or not?
they
Cats are
always
like, maybe.
my parents always would make the joke that like now they've lived in New York longer than they lived in any other state, including the states in which they were raised in.
Where's your mom from? Ohio?
Kentucky.
Oh, Jesus.
Kentucky. She's from the South? Oh, everything makes sense now.
Everything makes sense now.
Is Kentucky like both considered the South and the Midwest?
That's a
I
good
didn't know
question.
Kentucky was part of the Midwest or even considered the
Well,
Midwest.
it's funny. Parts of it are like the part where my mom grew up could be kind of considered like borderline like South and Midwest because like where she lived was still considered like Cincinnati suburbia.
Yeah, they call it
Like-
Indiucky.
Yeah,
What?
They call it Indiucky or Kentuckiana.
like where Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky all meet. Yeah, like
What? I always considered Kentucky like the South.
but like it's just
you
like
know,
a
Kentucky.
like she was just like my grandparents. Well, when they were still alive, they lived like just like over the bridge from Cincinnati.
And Kentucky's
Okay.
dry, right?
Parts of it are like that part of Kentucky is not like they still have bars and everything like normal. Like Kentucky, like there are dry counties in Kentucky,
Yeah.
but not like or like what they call moist counties where like you can go to a bar but you can't buy alcohol for home, or maybe it's the other way around. I don't remember.
You have
But
to bring like your own or something.
I think that's what it is. I think it's like there's no bars, but you can BYOB.
Yeah, I've been to places where there's a liquor store here, and then in the back there's a bar, and you could bring the liquor into the bar and pour it for like a cheap price or something like that. Weird.
Yeah, but
Weird.
like the area where my mom was from was like, again, because it was more like, because it was like suburban Cincinnati, and like because it was closer to a bigger city, it was neither, it wasn't a dry or a moist county. Like it still had, they still had bars and everything, just like normal.
Yeah, it was a Cardi B county. Cardi B and Megan Thee
And Megan Thee
Stallion
Stallion.
county.
Yeah, you could say that. It was more than moist.
Yeah.
Moist.
But so is New York, much more than moist.
So
We're
was what?
wet. We're WAP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And honestly, during the COVID, like I feel like we, like parts of New York have kind of turned into like New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was hearing that for a little while. I was hearing that the streets were, before I think maybe the mayor or the governor kind of started turning it up. Yeah,
Well,
people were in the streets.
before Cuomo waged his war on buffalo wings.
Oh, long before that. Long before that.
Because it was like, it came, like the thing with the buffalo wings came because he made a deal about, because he made a big stink saying that places had to, if they were going to serve alcohol, they had to serve like food and not just bar food, like actual meals.
Yeah, that
because
was a silly thing. That was a
I
silly
mean,
thing
what
to say that.
quantifies that as an actual meal? That's what I have
Yeah,
questioned.
I mean, and he
well, that's what I want to
specifically
know.
and he specifically said not bar food like wings. Like, are you kidding? Like, you
Well,
just
and then that set off like all of Buffalo because
no, that was a ridiculous thing to say. All of Buffalo, probably Rochester and Solidarity, anywhere else where they care about wings. Yeah, it was a ridiculous thing to say.
well, they care about wings in Utica and Syracuse too, so probably them too.
Yeah.
Like
Lots of solidarity throughout.
like
Upstate.
wings were pretty big in Utica too, but like
Yeah.
no, it was like misplaced priorities, because I feel like that, like, telling people that they have to order food with their beer is like not going to encourage them to social distance. Like,
Right, exactly.
they're
That's
not
actually
gonna,
very true. When I was
and
invited out to a bar, that was part of the problem, was like, now you got to pull down your mask even more to like eat your food. And now you're
Wait,
like,
the bars aren't open for indoor dining.
it was outside. It
no,
was
I'm
outside.
talking about
Oh.
outside.
Got it.
Like, I think
You thought you were missing something, Cynthia?
no,
Yeah, I
about
love
to get
indoor
excited.
dining. I
Cynthia's
thought
just,
maybe in Brooklyn they had opened up.
Cynthia's just already excited about the gym opening,
Yeah, the
opening
gyms are
back
going
up.
to have bars in the back where you can
Oh,
drink.
please.
Don't
I
even
don't know if the smoothie bar is going to be open in my gym. I don't know if they're going to. They probably will.
fancy smancy have a smoothie bar.
I'm just so excited. But this is Monday will be when they start the talks, not when they're opening, right? Based on the article that I read.
Not when they're opening, but like Cuomo said he's gonna release guidelines.
Oh my
And honestly, I feel like that, like a lot of gyms already, like at least gyms that are chains,
Uh-huh.
already probably have a plan on paper, because they've been allowed to open in other states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see his brother Chris like doing a segment where he shows himself working out at the gym.
Chris Cuomo? Isn't he
Yeah.
in New York?
Yeah. Yeah, he's.
How is he able to work out in a gym in New York if they're not open yet?
No, no, he means like
saying,
after
I'm
they
saying
open.
when they open.
Oh.
Because he's
I
like
know in
very-
California, I saw some pictures of like the gyms that have opened up, and I mean, it seems like a great solution. Let's get it going.
to
What?
great solution
It's
to what?
like
Well, they put up partitions like in workout areas so
Oh,
that
okay.
like only one person is allowed in each pod.
Oh,
I mean,
see.
we'll see how it goes.
Right.
But like that's what I was gonna say. Like in like, did they? Because I've heard of places like blocking off, like putting an X on like every other treadmill with like with masking tape and stuff like that, so people are forced to socially distance.
That's
Yeah.
a good
Like,
idea.
I mean, honestly, I'm to a point where I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think that like ventilation, like I feel like that the science is leading towards ventilation being more of
Primary
an
carrier.
issue, or more of
Yeah.
an issue than like whether you're exactly 6 feet apart or not, because I feel like I've been reading, like there's not that many outbreaks that, if at all, that are really traced to outdoor activities. Like, even if people are like within 6 feet of each other, but like, but all these outbreaks are tied to like bars and restaurants, which are traditionally places with very crappy ventilation.
What about
Yeah.
the barbershops? Has anyone done any research
I
there?
can't say, Flav. I can't say.
I was actually but I was actually reading a story like that. Like, I was actually reading a story about how there was like a hairdresser somewhere. I want to say in like Missouri or some Midwest place that like went to went to work and cut like and cut like 20 different clients' hair.
Oh, and they
When
had
she-
COVID, right?
No, she did, and she didn't know it. But they were wearing masks, and she was wearing a mask, and nobody got sick.
Yeah, I remember that story. See, masks
Interesting.
work. Masks
But I think like when you're talking about like a bar or a restaurant, like for obvious reasons, people aren't covering their mouth and nose at all times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the fear of like, I think that was like people's fear of like opening gyms too, was that
Right.
like was that they think that like, oh, people are gonna exercise without a mask or without a mask on because they want to like, because of like the fact
They
that they're breathing more heavily, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. I got you.
I've seen pictures of people who have gone to the gym in places where the gyms are already open and they require masks, and I haven't heard any stories of like a huge outbreak in those states because of the gyms being open. I guess we'll see.
Exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if people are willing to, for lack of a better term, if people are willing to wear a mask when they exercise because they're not like stupid enough to believe the rumors that masks like lead to carbon dioxide poisoning or whatever,
Oh,
Yeah.
then
Jesus.
it'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
And even in the
Like-
bars, if you could find a way to safely, enter alcohol intravenously, so they don't have to like take their masks down.
But
You
not even that. Like I've figured out actually that you don't have to pull your mask down while drinking something if you have a straw.
Yeah.
Like you just like
I'll slip
You
the
just stick it
straw.
underneath.
like
Oh.
yesterday I went
There you go.
yesterday I went to Starbucks when I was taking a walk,
Mhm.
and I found that like now, because like it's hot out and I'm ordering iced drinks,
Yeah.
like they always come with a straw,
Right.
and and I can just stick the straw underneath my
There you go.
mask into my mouth. So I feel like bars could open if they
That's a good idea.
bars could
Drinking
open if
beers with a straw. I mean,
Yes.
it works. Absolutely.
like I feel
That's a
like
great idea.
bars could open if they served if they used like disposable cups and served like everything with the straw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is not so much like being able to open safely. It's when people have consumed enough alcohol, will they be as responsible
That's a
That's a
good
good
point.
question.
sober as when
Yeah.
they're drunk?
That's a good
I
question.
doubt they will. Because
That's
what if you're flirting with someone and you're like, okay, let's make out. You take off your mask.
I mean, you do kind of have a point there.
The CDC had some advice for like, kind of like hooking up with people in a safer way.
But the CDC had advice about how to hook up safely during COVID.
Yeah,
Yo,
this
kids,
the
this is the CDC here. Yeah, this sort of thing.
if I showed it to you, you would think I had made some of the stuff up. Like there were,
Or that
you
it
have
was
to
like a
share it
parody.
now.
it looked like a parody. I don't.
I
I'd
have
look
to
it up.
see this.
I'd have to look it up. I
You're
actually
not talking about the one that the city health department released that
I don't know. I
Pete
feel like there
Davidson
was
actually made fun of it on SNL.
wasn't there. I feel like there was some mention of like glory holes or something.
Oh my God, no.
Oh my god.
If the CDC has to tell people that glory holes are a hot spot for COVID, I don't know what.
Like,
No, maybe
What
they were
next?
saying glory hole is a good way not to get COVID
Oh
because
God.
there's
God,
because you're only making contact with one part of the other person.
yeah.
I feel like
Oh, your tax dollars at work, people.
Oh man, the Republicans would have a field day with that.
Yeah, if they could learn to read, that would be great.
Oh snap!
If they could learn to read, that'd be great. But then they would be the people who were actually showing up at the glory holes incognito in a
Well,
disguise.
hello. If you've seen the congressmen who have retired in shame over the last 10 years, apparently they are showing up at glory holes.
And they're Republicans.
Oh, of course. They're
Okay,
again
let's
back to
see
white
what
Jesus.
what the CD has to say.
what's up, baby?
He likes to run around at night, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You're looking for what the CDC has to say about sex during a pandemic.
Yeah.
No kissing allowed, I assume.
Well, okay, so NYC.gov.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Oh man. Well, since we still have a lot to learn about COVID-19 and sex, the virus has been found in the semen and feces, in parentheses, poop, of people with COVID-19. Thanks for making that clear. You never know, a Republican could be reading this website, so you gotta make things clear.
So you gotta make everything clear.
We do not know if COVID-19 can be spread through vaginal or anal sex. We know that other coronaviruses do not easily spread through sex. This means sex is not likely a common way that COVID-19 spreads.
I heard it's in semen. It could be found in semen.
You just heard me say that 2 seconds ago.
Oh, I wasn't listening. I'm sorry. I remember reading it somewhere.
That's what I opened up with.
Oh.
The virus has been found in the semen and feces, parentheses, poop, of people with COVID-19.
I like that they had to clarify it as poop.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So the kids can understand it. Thank you.
Yeah,
That was for the children in the back.
the children and
Wait, so what is
Republicans.
the guidelines for safe sex? Did you read that too? Hey,
Have sex only with people close to you.
Well, yeah, I
what?
assume they're
Like in
close to.
proximity or relationship wise?
You are the safest
You
sex.
are your safest sex
You
partner.
are the safest sex partner.
I already-
Masturbation will not spread COVID-19, especially especially if you wash your hands and any sex toys with soap and water for at least 20 seconds before and after sex.
You're kidding me.
Oh my goodness.
The
That's
next
oddly
safest
specific.
the next safest partner is someone you live with. Having close contact, including sex, with only a small circle of people helps prevent spreading COVID-19.
So in other words, like, let's be realistic. Like, if I get COVID, Misha's gonna get COVID. If Misha gets COVID, I'm gonna get COVID anyway. So who gives a rat's behind?
Well, they're saying that you might have to curb your outside activities for a
What
while.
if I don't want to?
Well, then you're gonna be screwing the people that you live with, literally and figuratively.
That's
And
true.
yeah. And as far as you, Emily, you might have to cool things off on Tinder and the open, relationships until
I'm
COVID
not
cools down for a little bit.
Tinder.
We're speaking hypothetically anyway. But either way, we might have to cool things off until after COVID.
Trust me, my only partners are myself and Misha.
That's good.
If you do not have sex with others outside of your household, have as few partners as possible and pick partners you trust.
Okay. That seems pretty logical.
Common. Yeah, common.
So in other words, no Tinder hookups.
Yeah. Ask them about COVID-19 before you hook up.
Well, you should be asking them about, like,
Have you been
sex
coughing
anyways.
lately?
Yeah.
Now you just have to add. Now,
Make them
Along
fill out a
with-
questionnaire.
along with the question,
Take their temperature.
along with the question of, do you have unexplained warts or sores on your genitals? The next
Right.
question is, have you been coughing?
Here, cough now.
Or it's no, they're
Temperature checks for hookups.
no, the warts and sores are explained. I mean, I choose not to explain them to you, but yeah, they're totally explained. They're totally explained. I mean, they were explained to me, when I got them. So, yeah, it's fine.
What was explained to you?
Now, I'm just saying how this conversation might go. They're saying to talk to people about their warts and their sores and their
Oh,
fears.
yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, you might want to be a little bit more specific.
Mhm.
Well, yes, but I don't think that specificity needs to be discussed at the present moment.
That was a fancy way of saying, please keep it to yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
that's exactly what you should say if you're in that situation is please keep it to yourself. Yeah, that's,
What, keep your damn warts and sores to yourself?
yeah.
Although supposedly 75% of the population has herpes, so I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I was still in character when I was saying those things. So do not take things that were said in the last 5 minutes out of context. Not
Gotcha.
that there's anything wrong with sores or warts or fears or any of that stuff, and not that any of our viewers or listeners should feel self-conscious about any of those things. If you do run into any of those things, please contact your local health practitioner.
Please contact a medical professional.
Yes.
And don't expose other people to it.
Yeah, don't go on the web trying to find answers to this stuff. You're just going to freak yourself out.
Yeah, that's not good. Nothing about finding what's wrong with you on the web is a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea. Like Dr.
Go see a
WebMD is
professional.
horrible.
Don't trust WebMD or whatever sorted sites you find. I'm coughing and I feel fatigued. Oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Oh my god, I have COVID. Like,
Okay, so here's some more to help you guys
oh,
out.
there's more?
If 2 is company, then 3 or more is definitely a crowd. Large gatherings of any type are not safe during COVID-19. Sorry, Cynthia.
No more orgy parties? Damn it.
Well, they said of any type, so yeah, not just your orgy parties, but also your gyms and your other places, your cults, all that stuff that you do on the weekend.
Colts. I like to sacrifice goats on the weekend. You know,
Right.
sort of normal thing.
Close contact with multiple people should be avoided, but if you decide to find a crowd, below are tips to reduce your risk of spreading or getting COVID-19. Limit the size of your guest list. Keep it intimate. Go with a consistent sex
That's
partner.
what she said.
Yeah, go with a consistent sex partner. Pick larger, more open, well-ventilated spaces. So your gyms could be good. Wear face covering. Avoid kissing, and do not touch your eyes, nose, or mouth with unwashed hands. Bring an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. So even if you're just like going to hang out, you should just bring a consistent sex partner with you. I don't know why that would be advantageous.
So just throw them in your little purse wherever you go.
So what
Yeah.
does that mean? That like I need to like.
That means
Misha
if you're
and I
gonna
need
go
be
to a party, you got to bring Misha with you.
and we have to be super glued to each other.
That's right,
Well-
but no kissing. No kissing, Emily.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We each have to be. We both have to be facing forward.
If you usually meet your sex partners online or make a living by having sex, consider taking a break from in-person dates. Video dates, sexting, subscription-based fan platforms, sexy Zoom parties, or chat rooms may be options for you.
I've
So I
never
think
been to a sexy Zoom party. That's
You
I feel,
actually have, Raul. Little
Oh,
did
that's
you
right.
know.
That's
Little
right.
did you know. You've been to several.
Oh,
Several.
And that's why subscription porn has skyrocketed
I'm sure it has.
during COVID.
yeah. I
That's
can
why
imagine.
OnlyFans is a thing.
Yep.
Because that's like, in all seriousness, like that's what's happening is that like sex workers are monetizing themselves on porn sites because
Sure.
they can't do anything in real life at the current moment.
Right.
Oh,
I mean,
there's
I'm
more.
not,
There's
I
more.
feel
in
bad
this.
for sex workers.
Just in these times, or like, what do you mean?
I mean, in these times, I feel bad for them. I
You
mean,
mean the
I
ones who
always
are-
feel bad.
You mean the ones who don't have OnlyFans, or just all of them?
Like the ones who aren't currently, the ones who are struggling to make ends meet.
Sure.
I think
Because
that they're doing
of the
okay
lack
with
of-
making their ends meet. Oh, damn.
Comedians, on the other hand, are still doing their thing.
Absolutely.
Well,
Take-
comedians are doing virtual shows.
Yeah. Yep. As we've got Raul right here. This
That's
is
right.
His,
This is my platform.
This is his audition.
Well,
Take
you'd be Go on.
Take care during sex. Kissing can easily pass the virus. Avoid kissing anyone who is not part of your small circle of close contacts. Rimming, mouth on anus, might spread the virus. Virus in feces may enter your mouth and could lead to infection. Wear
Jesus.
wear face covering or mask. Maybe it's
Like
your
giving
thing.
anal? What?
What's that? It just says this
Well-
in general. While yeah,
Have sex in a mask. It's a good role play exercise.
maybe it's your thing or maybe it's not. But during COVID-19, wearing a
It's
face
your
covering
thing.
Yeah, make
that
it your thing.
covers your nose and mouth is a good way to add a layer of protection during sex. Heavy breathing and panic can spread the virus further. And if you blah 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 blah. Oh, here's a good one. Make it a little kinky. Be creative with sexual positions and physical barriers like walls that allow sexual contact while preventing close face-to-face contact.
So here's
Masturbate,
the part about glory holes.
masturbate together. Use physical distance and face coverings to reduce the risk. Condoms and dental dams can reduce contact with saliva, semen, or feces during oral or anal sex. And then you can visit nyc.gov/condoms to find out how to get free safer sex products. Washing up before and after sex is now more important than ever. Disinfect keyboards and touch screens that you share with others.
That makes sense. Okay.
Skip sex if you know your partner's not feeling well.
That is a big obvious one.
Yeah.
Socially
Yeah.
distance yourself from your partner if you don't want to get pregnant. It's the best birth control ever.
Yeah.
You can't get pregnant from 6 feet away.
Well, yeah. Well, you probably want to stay 6 feet away from others as well, even if they're not your partner. They can still get you pregnant.
What?
Yep.
What? How is that possible, Flav?
Well,
No,
you don't need
your
to be a
Tinder
partner.
hookup
You
could get you
You
pregnant.
don't need to be a partner in order to get someone pregnant.
No,
True.
but you said being 6 feet away. Never mind. I misunderstood.
Oh yes, you misunderstood. Yep.
I was like, how are you getting pregnant 6 feet away, even if it's not your partner?
I got you. We won't get into that. We're gonna keep this PG-13.
You already
I
said
think
poop.
we're already past PG-13.
You said poop and mouth on anus, so you
Yeah,
know.
that's PG-13.
Yeah.
Is
You
it
don't remember-
PG-13?
You don't
Wow.
remember learning this stuff in middle school?
No.
No.
Now, they do go beyond that in the movie Clerks. We just didn't get to that scene, thank God.
I saw your poster on the back wall.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back
Yep.
poster. And that one, Dogma, on the other wall. Huh?
Dogma is brilliant. Brilliant commentary.
And then I have a poster signed by Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman on
Really?
like a different wall, like that they were randomly handing out like during one of their Hollywood Babylon podcasts.
Okay.
Oh, you won one.
No, I did I didn't win it. Like I just happened to be like they were handing it. They had an excess. They had been for some VIP thing, and they had an excess of them, I guess. And they were just handing them to people as they walked out
Oh.
after the show. And I happened to be in the right place at the right time, I guess.
Sweet. 49. Damn it, I need more tiles. I don't know if you guys like to play games, but
I like to play games.
there's this one mobile game that I've been obsessed with. I feel like I've talked about this before. This is not sponsored, by the way. Lords Mobile. Have you ever heard of that game?
No.
I have.
Oh, it's so fun. Are you on it?
No.
Oh.
I avoid mobile games because they're too much
Because they're
temptation.
too addictive.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just so good. I highly recommend it if you want to download it. It's free to play.
You pusher, you addict pusher.
Oh, shoot.
There's your cat again.
No.
Oh, look at him. Oh, you can see his butt.
Asshole's clean, right?
It is. It's amazingly clean. Look at him. He's so cute.
I know. He's my baby. Yeah, I highly recommend this game if you guys want to download it and play.
Lords.
Lords Mobile. It's a strategy game.
Okay. Are there how good are the graphics? Are there like little people?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty good.
I mean, I'm a fan of playing. I've been playing Uno and Solitaire on my phone.
I still play Words with Friends.
Oh, I remember that game.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yep, I'm still on it. Been on it all these years.
You're just so loyal.
Yep.
Did you know that apparently they have Uno on House Party now?
Yeah.
What?
I haven't played, but yep.
We haven't been on House Party in so long. I like
No,
that
yep.
app.
Yeah. It's it's kind of touchy with the whatchamacallit. The Wi-Fi is really shitty on it, but
Yeah, they need to like switch up their like the amount of categories that they have.
mhm.
But yeah, it's fun. You know who I also miss being on these calls?
Oh.
Julian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, Julian. What the hell's wrong with him? What the hell could he be
Yeah.
doing? He's quarantined. There isn't
Yeah,
anything.
does he have a girlfriend? That could be
Yeah,
the
he's
answer.
quarantined
does.
he's quarantined with Danny. What do you think he's doing?
Sheltered in place.
Yeah. They have 6 other days together.
Once a week. Man,
What?
Cynthia, you're rough.
What?
You only once a week. You're saying.
No, I'm saying they're together the 6 other days.
Oh,
week,
you're
like-
saying they're together the 6 other days they could do it. I thought you meant like they only did it once a week or something, like an old
No.
married couple.
Shush.
Sometimes it works out. Sometimes.
Once in a blue moon.
Yeah, pretty
Has
much.
anyone been to any Zoom weddings yet?
I have.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. On my church, this lovely gay couple got married, and they got married, and they had matching suits. They looked so elegant together,
And did you-
Why
we
did
were
you
all
have
watching
to point out that they were gay?
because they were wearing matching suits. I don't know.
Did you dress up as well?
Yes, they asked us to dress up in green. Their birthstones.
And were you wearing pants?
I was wearing pants.
Okay.
Last thing I want is my pastor seeing me naked.
Well, I figure on a Zoom call, they can tell you to
You
dress
don't
up,
really
but they
need pants.
they can tell you to dress up, but they can't really enforce the wearing of pants.
That's true. It's true. I do another show, the one that Flav knows about, and there's a guy we call Pantsless because he's always claiming that he's not wearing pants, though we never see. Thank God.
Why is he always on ghost mode?
No one.
When he gets up, he's on ghost mode. So
Yeah.
apparently he might be.
Yeah, I was gonna say, unless you're getting up to go grab something, there's no need for anyone to know what's going on below your waist.
So I
I
guess
mean-
we're not doing the script reading.
Yes, let's do it. Thank you. Cynthia has demanded that we do.
I have
script.
not demanded. I have politely
You're the
asked.
one that
Cynthia
didn't want to.
Cynthia has politely asked that we do the script reading. I'm totally in favor of it. Let's give Cynthia what she asked for.
Look at his asshole. Look at that. Look how clean that is. Right, baby? No one looked. Okay.
I looked quickly.
I'm so
I quickly
proud.
looked.
Look at his butthole. John!
I'm so proud of how well you cleaned your cat's butthole.
I can't believe we're discussing how clean a cat's butthole is right now.
I'm not discussing it. Okay,
Good
so
job, baby.
I say we go, the first few scenes.
Let's assign roles.
Yeah,
You're obviously Morgan Freeman. I forgot his character name.
obviously, Red.
Red. Right.
We meet
And who's the
someone,
guy that he's friends with? What's his name?
Andy.
Ambi?
Andy.
Oh, Andy.
Yeah.
So which one are we starting with?
Well, I think we should just start from the beginning, and then kind of end when Red has been maybe in a couple scenes or something.
Okay.
So we're going to need a narrator.
I don't want to be the narrator this time. The narrator talks too much.
Either.
Okay, well, we're going to need Andy, who's going to be, talking not as much as the narrator, but Andy will have definitely some parts.
And then the DA.
Yeah, and then it looks like there's also a woman. Is there? Oh, and then the woman.
I don't see Red in here at all.
Not for
Who's a
a few pages.
Okay. Shit, this is a lot of narration.
Do you want me to be the narrator?
Okay, if you want.
No, if you want to do it, that's fine.
Okay, I'll start it off.
Okay, so who's going to be Andy and who's going to be the woman?
I'll be Andy.
I guess I'm the woman.
Okay.
Are we starting?
And then does that make me the DA then until Red comes in?
Well, are the woman and the DA like in the same?
I don't. No, it's another. No, they're not.
I mean, I could be the woman and the DA.
Okay.
Oh man, Misha's gonna think we're reading erotica again. I'm just looking at this.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hold on. I'm just trying to see if there's any other parts here. Well, okay. I mean, if you're, hold on. Right, okay.
Stop.
Put it to the side
Go there.
first. I think there's gonna be no. Let me just see when Red finally comes in here.
How do you pronounce Andy's last name? Dufresne?
Dufresne.
Oh, Dufresne.
Dufresne?
French.
Okay.
Oh.
So
I'm glad I asked. I would have sounded like an asshole.
So Red comes in by page 8. So why don't I be the DA?
Okay.
And why don't you be the judge?
Okay.
Okay.
Are we start?
Yeah, we're starting. Are you ready? I can't hear you. What's that? Who's what?
Who's supposed to be narrating?
Cynthia?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I cut out there for a second.
You're the narrator.
Okay, hold on. Oh, I was saying, are we ready? I don't think you guys.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Okay.
Action.
Interior cabin, night, 1946. A dark, empty room. The door bursts open. A man and woman enter, drunk and giggling, horny as hell. No sooner is the door shut than they're all over each other, ripping at clothes, pawing at flesh, mouths locked together. He gropes for a lamp, tries to turn it on, knocks it over instead. Hell with it. He gets more urgent things to do, like getting her blouse open and his hands on her breasts. She arches, moaning, fumbling with this fly. He slams her against the wall, whipping her skirt. We hear fabric tear. He enters her right then and there, roughly, up against the wall. She cries out, hitting her head against the wall, but not caring, grinding against him, clawing his back, shivering with the sensations running through her. He carries her across the room with her legs wrapped around him. They fall onto the bed. Camera pulls back. Exiting through the window, traveling smoothly outside. Exterior cabin night. To reveal the bungalow, remote in a wooded area. The lovers' cries spilling into the night, and we drift down a wooden path. The sounds of rutting passion, growing fainter, mingling now with the night sounds of crickets and hoot owls, and we begin to hear the faint music in the woods. Teeny and incongruous, and still we keep pulling back until a car is revealed, a 1946 Plymouth, parked in a clearing. Interior Plymouth night. Andy Dufresne? Was it
Dufresne.
Dufresne? Andy Dufresne, mid-20s, wire rim glasses, three-piece suit. Under normal circumstances, a respectable, solid citizen. Hardly dangerous, perhaps even meek. But these circumstances are far from normal. He is disheveled, unshaven, and very drunk. A cigarette smolders in his mouth. His eyes, flinty and hard, are riveted in the bungalow up the path. He can hear them fucking from here. He raises a bottle of bourbon and knocks it back. The radio plays softly, painfully romantic, taunting him. You stepped out of a dream. You are too wonderful to be what you seem. He opens the glove compartment, pulls out an object wrapped in a rag. He lays it on his lap and unwraps it carefully, revealing a .38 revolver, oily, black, evil. He grabs a box of bullets, spills them everywhere, all over the seat and floor. Clumsy. He picks bullets off his lap, loading them into the gun, one by one, methodical and grim. 6 in the chamber. His gaze goes back to the bungalow. He shuts off the radio. Abrupt silence, except for the distinct lover's moans. He takes another shot of bourbon, courage, then opens the door and steps from the car. Exterior Plymouth night. His wingtip shoes crunch on gravel, loose bullets scattered to the ground. The bourbon bottle drops and shatters. He starts up the path, unsteady on his feet. The closer he gets, the louder the lovemaking becomes. Louder and more frenzied, the lovers are reaching a climax, their sounds of passion degenerating into rhythmic gasps and grunts.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Andy lurches to a stop, listening. The woman cries out in orgasm. The sound slams into Andy's brain like an ice pick. He shuts his eyes tightly, wishing the sound would stop. It finally does, dying away like a siren until all that's left is a shallow gasping and panting of post-coitus. We hear languorous laughter, moans of satisfaction.
Oh God, that's so good. You're the best I ever had.
Andy just sits and listens, devastated. He doesn't look like much of a killer now. He's just a sad little man on a dirt path in the woods, tears streaming down his face, a loaded gun held loosely at his side, a pathetic figure, really. Fades to black. First title up. Interior courtroom day. The jury listens like a gallery of mannequins on display, pale-faced and stupefied. Play?
Mr. Dufresne,
Oh.
describe the confrontation you had with your wife the night she was murdered.
Is on the witness stands, hands folded, suit and tie pressed, hair meticulously combed. He speaks in soft, measured tones. It was very bitter. She said she was glad I knew, that she hated all that sneaking around. She said she wanted a divorce in Reno.
Do you want me to pick it up from here?
You can. I just said the first line because you weren't there.
Okay. What was your response?
I told her I would not grant one.
Refers to his notes.
I'll see you in hell before I see you in Reno. Those were the words you used, Mr. Dufresne, according to the testimony of your neighbors.
If they say so. I don't really remember. I was upset.
Fade to black, second title up.
What happened after you and your wife argued?
She packed a bag and went to stay with Mr. Quentin.
Glenn Quentin, the golf pro at the Falmouth Hills Country Club. The man you had recently discovered was her lover. Did you follow her?
I went to a few bars first. Later, I decided to drive to Mr. Quentin's home and confront him. They weren't there, so I parked my car in the turnout and waited.
With what intention?
I'm not sure. I was confused, drunk. I think mostly I wanted to scare them.
You had a gun with you?
Yes, I did.
Fade to black, third title up.
When they arrived, you went up to the house and murdered them?
No, I was sobering up. I realized she wasn't worth it, and I decided to let her have her quickie divorce.
Quickie divorce indeed. A 38 caliber divorce, wrapped up in a hand towel to muffle the shots. Isn't that what you mean? And then you shot her lover?
I did not. I got back in the car and drove home and slept it off. Along the way, I stopped, threw my gun into the Royal River. I feel I've been very clear on this point.
Yes, you have. Where I get hazy, though, is the part where the cleaning woman shows up the next morning and finds your wife and her lover in bed, riddled with 38 caliber bullets. Does that strike you as a fantastic coincidence, Mr. Dufresne, or is it just me?
Yes, it does.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dufresne, I don't think the jury heard that.
Yes, it does.
It does what?
Strike me as a fantastic coincidence.
On that, sir, we are in accord.
Fade to black. Fourth title up.
You claim you threw your gun into the Royal River before the murders took place. That's rather convenient.
It's the truth.
You recall Lieutenant Mincher's testimony? He and his men dragged that river for 3 days and nary a gun was found. So no comparison can be made between your gun and the bullets taken from the bloodstained corpses of the victims. That's also rather convenient, isn't it, Mr. Dufresne?
Since I am innocent of this crime, sir, I find it decidedly inconvenient that the gun was never found.
Fade to black. Fifth title up.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard all the evidence. You know all the facts. We have the accused at the scene of the crime. We have footprints, tire tracks, bullets scattered on the ground which bear his fingerprints, a broken bourbon bottle, likewise with fingerprints. Most of all, we have a beautiful young woman and her lover lying dead in each other's arms. They had sinned, but was their crime so great as to merit a death sentence?
He gestures to Andy, sitting quietly with his attorney.
I suspect Mr. Dufresne's answer to that would be yes. I further suspect he carried out that sentence on the night of September this year of our Lord, 1946, by pumping 4 bullets into his wife and another 4 into Glenn Quentin. And while you think about that, think about this.
He picks up a revolver, spins the cylinder before their eyes like a carnival barker spinning a wheel of fortune.
A revolver holds 6 bullets, not 8. I submit to you, this was not a hot-blooded crime of passion. That could at least be understood, if not condoned. No, this was revenge of a much more brutal and cold-blooded nature. Consider 4 bullets per victim, not 6 shots fired, but 8. That means he fired the gun empty and then stopped to reload so he could shoot each of them again. An extra bullet per lover, right in the head. I'm done talking. You people are all decent, God-fearing Christian folk. You know what to do.
Fade to black. Sixth title up. Interior jury room day. Camera tracks down a long table, moving from one juror to the next. These decent, God-fearing Christians are chowing down on a nice fried chicken dinner provided by the county, smacking greased lips and gnawing cobets of corn.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
We find the foreman at the head of the table, sorting votes. Fade to black. Seventh title up. Interior courtroom. Day. Andy stands before the dais. The judge peers down, framed by a carved frieze? How do you pronounce that? Frieze of blind Lady Justice on the wall.
You strike me as a particularly icy and remorseless man, Mr. Dufresne. It chills my blood just to look at you. By the power vested in me by the state of Maine, I hereby ordered you to serve 2 life sentences back to back, 1 for each of your victims. So be it. Bang.
He raps his gavel as we crash to black. Last title up. An iron-barred door slides open with an enormous clang. A stark room waits beyond. Camera pushes through. 7 humorless men sit side by side in a long table. An empty chair faces them. We are now in. Interior Shawshank hearing room, day. Red enters, removes his cap, and waits by the chair.
Sit.
Red sits, tries not to slouch. The chair is uncomfortable.
We see you by your
No, this
file.
should be no. You're Andy. This should be her.
Oh, okay.
We see by your file you've served 20 years of a life sentence. You feel you've been rehabilitated?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I've learned my lesson. I can honestly say I'm a changed man. I'm no longer a danger to society. That's the God's honest truth. No doubt about it.
The men just stare at him. One stifles a yawn. Close up, parole form. A big rubber stamp slams down. Rejected in red ink. Exterior exercise yard. Shawshank prison. Dusk. High stone walls topped with snaky
Concertina?
concertina wire, set off at intervals by looming guard towers. Over 100 cons are in the yard, playing catch, shooting craps, jawing at each other, making deals, exercise period. Red emerges into fading daylight, slouches low-key through the activity, worn cap on his head, exchanging hellos and doing minor businesses. He's an important man here.
There's a con like me in every prison in America, I guess. I'm the guy who can get it for you. Cigarettes, a bag of reefer, if you're partial, a bottle of brandy to celebrate your kid's high school graduation. Damn near anything within reason.
He slips somebody a pack of smokes, smooth sleight of hand.
Yes, sir. I'm a regular Sears and Roebuck.
2 short siren blasts issues from the main tower, drawing everybody's attention to the loading dock. The outer gate swings open, revealing a gray prison bus outside.
So when Andy Dufresne came to me and asked me to smuggle Rita Hayworth into the prison for him, I told him no problem, and it wasn't.
Fresh fish today.
Red is joined by Haywood, Skeet, Floyd, Jigger, Ernie, Snooze. Most cons crowd to the fence to gawk and jeer, but Red and his group mount the bleachers and settle in comfortably. Interior prison bus, dusk. Andy sits in back, wearing steel collar and chains.
Andy came to Shawshank Prison in early 1947 for murdering his wife and the fella she was banging.
The bus lurches forward, rumbles through the gates. Andy gazes around, swallowed by prison walls.
On the outside, he had been vice president of a large Portland bank. Good work for a man as young as he was, when you consider how conservative banks were back then.
All clear.
Guards approach the bus with carbines?
Carbines.
Carbines. The door jerks open. The new fish disembark, chained together single file, blinking sourly at their surroundings. Andy stumbles against the man in front of him, almost drags him down. Brian Hadley, captain of the guards, slams his baton into Andy's back. Andy goes to his knees, gasping in pain. Jeers and shouts from spectators.
On your feet before I fuck you up so bad you never walk again.
On the bleachers.
There they are, boys, the human charm bracelets.
Never seen such a sorry-looking heap of maggot shit all of my life. Coming from you, Haywood, you being so pretty and all. Taking bets today, Red?
Pulls notepad and pencil.
Bear Catholic, Pope shit in the woods, smokes or coin, better's choice.
Smokes, put me down for 2.
High roller, who's your horse?
That gangling sack of shit, 3rd from the front. He'll be the first. Bullshit, I'll take that action. Me too.
Other hands go up. Red jots the names.
You're out some smokes, son. Take my word. You're so smart, you call it. I say that chubby fat ass. Let's see, 5th from the front. Put me down for a quarter deck.
That's 5 cigarettes on fat ass. Any takers?
More hands go up. Andy and the others are paraded along, forced by their chains to take tiny baby steps. Flinching under the barrage of cheers and shouts, the old-timers are shaking the fence, trying to make the newcomers shit their pants. Some of the new fish shout back, but mostly they look terrified, especially Andy.
I must admit, I didn't think much of Andy first time I laid eyes on him. He, he might have been important on the outside, but in here, he was just a little turd in prison grays. Looked like a stiff breeze could blow him over. That was my first impression of the man.
What say, Red?
Little fella on the end. Definitely. I stake half a pack. Any takers?
Rich bet.
Come on, boys. Who's going to prove me wrong?
Hands go up.
Floyd, Skeet, Joe, Haywood. 4 brave souls, 10 smokes apiece. That's it, gentlemen. This window's closed.
Red pockets his notepad. A voice comes over the PA speaker.
Return to your cell blocks for evening count. I repeat, return to your cell blocks for evening count.
Interior admitting area, dusk. The new fish are marched in. Guards unlock the shackles. The chains drop away, rattling to the stone floor.
Eyes front.
Warden Samuel Norton strolls forth, a colorless man in a gray suit and a church pin on his lapel. He looks like he could piss ice water. He appraises the newcomers with flinty eyes.
This is Mr. Hadley, captain of the guard. I am Mr. Norton, the warden. You are sinners and scum. That's why they sent you to me. Rule number 1, no blaspheming. I'll not have the Lord's name taken in vain in my prison. The other rules you'll figure out as you go along. Any questions? When do we eat?
Cued by Norton's glance, Hadley steps up to the con and screams right in his face.
You eat when we say you eat. You piss when we say you piss. You shit when we say you shit. You sleep when we say you sleep, you magnetic motherfucker.
Hadley rams the tip of his club into the con's belly. The man falls to his knees, gasping and clutching himself. Hadley takes his place at Norton's side again, softly.
Any other questions?
There are none.
I believe in 2 things, discipline and the Bible. Here you'll receive both.
Holds up a Bible.
Put your faith in the Lord. Your ass belongs to me. Welcome to Shawshank. Off with them clothes. And I didn't say take all day doing it, did I?
The men shed their clothes within seconds, all stand naked.
First man into the shower.
Hadley shoves the first con into a steel cage open at the front. 2 guards open up with a fire hose. The con is slammed against the back of the cage, sputtering and hollering. Seconds later, the water is cut and the con yanked out.
Delouse that piece of shit. Next man in.
The con gets a huge scoop of white delousing powder thrown all over him. Gasping and coughing, blinking powder from his eyes, he gets shoved to a trustee's cage. The trustee slides a short stack of items through the slot. Prison clothes and a Bible. All the men are processed quickly. A blast of water, powder, clothes, and a Bible. Interior infirmary, night. A naked con steps before a doctor and gets a cursory exam. A penlight is shined into his eyes, ears, nose, and throat.
Bend over.
The con does. A guard with a penlight in his teeth spreads his cheeks, peers up his ass, and nods. Andy is up next. He gets the same treatment. Interior, prison chapel, night. Camera tracks the naked newcomers shivering on hard wooden chairs, clothes on their laps, Bibles open.
Maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul.
Interior, cell block 5, night. 3 tiers to a side, concrete and steel, gray and imposing. Andy and the others are marched in, still naked, carrying their clothes and Bibles. The cons in their cells greet them with taunts, jeers, and laughter. One by one, the new men are shown to their cells and looked in like a clang of steel. Locked in like...
The first night's the toughest, no doubt about it. They march you in naked as the day you're born, fresh from a Bible reading, skin burning, and half blind from that delousing shit they throw on you.
Red watches from his cells, arms slung over the crossbar, cigarette dangling from his fingers.
And when they put you in that cell, when those bars slam home, that's when you know it's for real. Old life blown away in the blink of an eye. A long, cold season in hell stretching out ahead. Nothing left but all the time in the world to think about it.
Red listens to the clanging below. He watches Andy and a few others brought up to the second tier.
Most new fish come close to madness the first night. Somebody always breaks down crying. Happens every time. The only question is, who's it going to be?
Andy is led past and given a cell at the end of the tier.
It's as good a thing to bet on as any, I guess. I had my money on Andy Dufresne.
Interior, Andy's cell. Night. The bars slam home. Andy is alone in his cell, clutching his clothes. He gazes around at his new surroundings, taking it in. He slowly begins to dress himself. Exterior, Shawshank prison. Night. A malignant stone growth on the main landscape. The moon hangs low and baleful in a dead sky. The headlight of a passing train cuts through the night. Interior, red cell. Night. Red lies on his bunk below, tossing his baseball towards the ceiling and catching it again. He pauses, listening. Footsteps approach below, unhurried, echoing, hollowing in stone. Interior, cell block 5. Night. Low angle. A cell block guard strolls into frame.
That's lights out. Good night, ladies.
The lights bump off in sequence. The guard exits, footsteps echoing away. Darkness now. Silence. Camera cranes up the tiers towards a red cell.
I remember my first night. Seems a long time ago now.
Red looms from the darkness, leans on the bars, listens, waits. From somewhere below comes faint, ghastly, tittering voices, drift through the cell block, taunting.
Fishy, fishy, fishy. You're gonna like it here, new fish. A whole lot. Make you wish your daddy's never dicked your mommies. You're taking this down now, fish. Gonna be a quiz later?
Somebody laughs.
Keep it down. The screws will hear. Fishy, fishy, fishy.
The boys always go fishing with first timers, and they don't quit till they reel someone in.
The voices keep on, sly and creepy in the dark. Interior, various cells, night. Through 25, while the new cons go quietly crazy in their cells. One man paces like a caged animal. Another sits gnawing his cuticles bloody. A third is weeping silently. A fourth is dry heaving into the toilet. Interior, red cell, night. Red waits at the bars, smoking, listening. He cranes his head, peering down towards Andy's cell. Nothing, not a peep.
Badass, oh badass, talk to me, boy. I know you're in there. I can hear you breathing. Now don't let you listen to those nitwits you hear.
Interior, fat ass's cell, night. Fat ass is crying, trying not to hyperventilate.
This ain't such a bad place. I'll introduce you around, make you feel right at home. I know some big old bull queers who'd love to make your acquaintance, especially that big white mushy butt of yours.
And that's it. Fat ass lets out a loud wail of despair.
Oh God, I don't belong here. I want to go home.
Interior, Haywood cell, night.
And it's badass by a nose.
Interior cell block, night. The place goes nuts. Fat ass throws himself screaming against the bars. The entire block starts chanting.
Fresh fish, fresh fish, fresh fish, fresh fish. I want to go home. I want my mother. I had your mother. She wasn't that great.
The lights bump on. Guards pour in, led by Hadley himself.
What the Christ is this happy shit? He took the Lord's name in vain. I'm telling the warden. You'll be telling him with my baton up your ass.
Hadley arrives at Fat Ass's cell, bellowing through the bars.
What's your malfunction, you fat fucking barrel of monkey spunk? Please, this ain't right. I ain't supposed to be here, not me. I ain't gonna count to 3, not even to 1. Now shut the fuck up before I sing you a lullaby.
Fat Ass keeps blubbering and wailing. Total freak out. Hadley draws his baton, gestures to his men. Open it. A guard unlocks the cell. Hadley pulls Fat Ass out and starts beating him with the baton. Brutally raining blows. Fat Ass falls, tries to crawl. The place goes dead silent. All you hear now is the dull twack, twack, twack of the baton. Fat ass passes out. Hadley gets in a few more licks and finally stops.
Get this tub of shit down to the infirmary. If I hear so much as a mouse fart in here the rest of the night, by God and Sonny Jesus, you'll all visit the infirmary. Every last motherfucker here.
The guards wrestle Fat Ass into a stretcher and carry him off. Footsteps echo away. Lights out. Darkness again. Silence. Interior red cell. Night. Red stares through the bars at the main floor below, eyes riveted in a small puddle of blood where Fat Ass went down.
His first night in the joint, Andy Dufresne cost me 2 packs of cigarettes. He never made a sound.
Interior, cell block 5, morning. Loud buzzer. The master locks are thrown. Ka-thump! The cons step from their cells, lining the tiers. The guards holler their head counts to the head bull, who jots on a clipboard. Red peers at Andy, checking him out. Andy stands in line, collar buttoned, hair combed. Interior mess hall, morning. Andy goes through the breakfast line, gets a scoop of glop on his tray. We pan Andy through the noise and confusion and discover Boggs Diamonds and Rooster McBride watching Andy go by. Bog sizes Andy up with a salacious gleam in his eye, muttering something to Rooster. Rooster laughs. Andy finds a table occupied by Red and his regulars, chooses a spot at the end where no one is sitting. Ignoring their stares, he picks up his spoon and pauses, seeing something in his food. He carefully fishes it out with his fingers. It's a squirming maggot. Andy grimaces, unsure what to do with it. Brooks Hatlin is sitting closest to Andy. At age 65, he's a senior citizen, a long-standing resident.
You gonna eat that?
Hadn't planned on it.
You mind?
Ugh. Andy passes the maggot to Brooks. Brooks examines it, rolling it between his fingertip like a man checking out a fine cigar. Andy is riveted with apprehension.
Nice and ripe.
Andy can't bear to watch. Brooks opens up his sweater and feeds the maggot to a baby crow nestled in an inside pocket. Andy breathes a sigh of relief.
Jake says thanks. Fell out his nest over by the plate shop. I'm looking after him till he's old enough to fly.
Andy nods, proceeds to eat carefully. Haywood approaches.
Oh, Christ, here he comes. Morning, boys. It's a fine morning. You know why it's fine?
Haywood plops his tray down, sits. The men starts pulling out cigarettes and handing them out.
That's right. Send them all down. I want to see them lined up in a row, pretty as a chorus line.
An impressive pile forms. Haywood bends down and inhales deeply, smelling the aroma. Rapture.
Smell my ass. Gee, Red, terrible shame. Your horse coming in last and all. Well, I sure do love that horse of mine. I believe I owe that boy a big sloppy kiss when I see him.
Give him some of your cigarettes instead, cheap bastard.
Say, Tyrell, you pull infirmary duty this week? How's that winning horse of mine anyways? Dead. Hadley busted his head pretty good. Doc already went home for the night. Poor bastard lay there till this morning. By then...
He shakes his head, turns back to his food. The silence mounts. Haywood glances around. Men resume eating, softly.
What was his name?
What? What did you say?
I was wondering if anyone knew his name.
What the fuck you care, new fish? It don't matter what his fucking name was. He's dead.
Interior prison, laundry, day. A deafening noise of industrial washers and presses. Andy works the laundry line, a nightmarish job. He's new at it. Bob, the con foreman, elbows him aside and shows him how it's done. Interior showers, day. Shower heads mounted in bare concrete. Andy showers with a dozen or more men. No modesty here. At least the water is good and hot, soothing his tortured muscle. Boggs looms from the billowing steam, smiling, checking Andy up and down. Rooster and Pete appear from the sides, the sisters.
You're some sweet punk. You been broken in yet?
Andy tries to step past them. He gets shoved around, nothing serious, just some slap and tickle. Jackals sizing up prey.
Hard to get. I like that.
Andy breaks free, flushing and shaking. He hurries off, leaving the three sisters laughing. Interior, Andy's cell, night. Andy lies staring at the darkness, unable to sleep. Exterior, exercise yard, day. Exercise period. Red plays catch with Hayward and Jigger, lazily tossing a basketball around. Red notices Andy off to the side, nods hello. Andy takes this as a cue to amble over. Hayward and Jigger pauses, watching.
Hello,
Offers his,
I'm at. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
oh, no. Yeah, offers his hand.
Hello, I'm Andy Dufresne.
Red glances at the hand, ignores it. The game continues.
The wife-killing banker.
How you know that?
I keep my ear to the ground. Why'd you do it?
I didn't, since you asked.
Hell, you'll fit right in then.
Off Andy look.
Everyone's innocent in here. Don't you know that? Haywood, what are you in for, boy?
Didn't do it. Lawyer fucked me.
Red gives Andy a look. See?
What else have you heard?
People say you're a cold fish. They say you think your shit smells sweeter than ordinary. That true?
What you think?
Ain't made up my mind yet.
Hayward nudges Jigger. Watch this. He winds up and throws the ball hard, right at Andy's head. Andy sees it coming out of the corner of his eyes, whirls and catches it. Beat. He sends the ball right back, zinging it into Hayward's hands. Hayward drops the ball and grimaces, wringing his stung hands.
I understand you're the man. You're a man who knows how to get things.
I'm known to locate certain things from time to time. They seem to fall into my hands. Maybe it's because I'm Irish.
I wonder if you could get me a rock hammer.
What is it and why?
You make your customers' motives part of your business?
If you wanted a toothbrush, I wouldn't ask questions. I just quote a price. A toothbrush, see, is a non-lethal sort of object.
Fair enough. A rock hammer is about 8 or 9 inches long. Looks like a miniature pickaxe with a small sharp end, small sharp pick on the end, and a blunt hammer on the other, hammerhead on the other end. It's for rocks.
Rocks.
Andy squats, motions Red to join him. Andy grabs a handful of dirt and sifts it through his hands. He finds a pebble and rubs it clean. It has a nice milky glow. He tosses it to Red.
Quartz?
Quartz, sure. And look, mica, shale, silted granite. There's some graded limestone from when they cut this place out of the hill.
So?
I'm a rock hound. At least I was in my old life. I'd like to be again on a limited scale.
Yeah, that or maybe plant your toy in somebody's skull?
I have no enemies here.
No, just wait.
Red flicks his gaze past Andy. Boggs is watching them.
Word gets around. The sisters have taken a real shine to you. Yes, they have. Especially Boggs.
Tell me something. Would it help if I explained to them I'm not a homosexual?
Neither are they. You have to be human first. They don't qualify. Bull queers take by force. That's all they want or understand. I'd grow eyes in the back of my head if I were you.
Thanks for the advice.
That comes free, but you understand my concern.
If there's any trouble, I doubt a rock hammer will do me any good.
Then I guess you want to escape. Tunnel under the wall, maybe? I missed the joke. What's so funny?
You'll know when you see the rock hammer.
What's this item usually go for?
$7 in any rock and gem shop?
My standard markup's 20%, but we're talking about a special object. Risk goes up, price goes up. Call it $10 even.
10 it is.
I'll see what I can do.
Rises, slapping dust.
But it's a waste of money.
Oh?
Folks who run this place love surprise inspections. They turn a blind eye to some things, but not a gadget like that. They'll find it, and you'll lose it. Mention my name, we'll never do business again. Not for a pair of shoelaces or a stick of gum.
I understand. Thank you, Mr.
Red, The name's Red.
Red. I'm Andy. Pleasure doing business with you.
They shake. Andy strolls off. Red watches him go.
See why some of the boys took him for snobby. He had a quiet way about him, a walk and a talk that just wasn't normal around here. He strolled, like a man in a park without a care or worry, like he had on an invisible coat that would shield him from this place.
Resumes playing catch.
Yes, I think it would be fair to say I liked Andy from the start.
Interior mess hall. Day. Red gets his breakfast and heads for a table. Andy falls in step, slips him a tightly folded square of paper. Interior red cell. Night. Lying on his bunk, Red unfolds the square. A $10 bill.
He was a man who adapted fast.
Exterior loading dock. Day. Under watchful supervision, cons are offloading bags of dirty laundry from an Elliott nursing home truck.
Years later, I find out he brought in quite a bit more than just $10.
A certain bag hits the ground. The truck driver shoots a look at the black con, Leonard, then ambles over to a guard to shoot the shit. Leonard loads the bag into a cart. Interior, prison laundry. Day. Bags are being unloaded. We find Leonard working the line.
They check you into this hotel. One of the bellhops bends you over and looks up your works, just to make sure you're not carrying anything. But a truly determined man can get an object quite a ways up there.
Leonard slips a small paper-wrapped package out of the laundry bag, hides it under his apron, and keeps sorting. Interior prison laundry exchange day. Red deposits his dirty bundle and moves down the line to where the clean sheets are being handed out.
That's how Andy joined our happy little Shawshank family with more than $500 on his person. Determination.
Leonard catches Red's eyes, turns and grabs a specific stack of clean sheets. He hands it across to Red. Tight angle. And more than clean laundry changes hands. 2 packs of cigarettes slide out of Red's hand into Leonard. Interior red cell. Day. Red slips the package out of his sheets, carefully checks to make sure nobody's coming, then rips it open. He pulls out the rock hammer. It's just as Andy described. Red laughs softly.
Andy was right. I finally got the joke. It would take a man about 600 years to tunnel under the wall with one of these.
Interior cell block 5, second tier, night. Brooks Hatlin pushes a cart of books from cell to cell. The rolling library. He finds Red waiting for him. Red slips the rock hammer, wrapped in a towel, through the bars and into the cart. Next comes 6 cigarettes to pay for postage.
Dufresne.
Brooks nods, never missing a beat. He rolls his cart to Andy's cell, mutters through the bars.
Rental shelf wrapped in a towel.
Andy's hand snakes through the bars and makes the object disappear. The hands come back and deposits a small slip of folded paper along with more cigarettes. Brooks turns his carts around and goes back. He pauses, sorting his book long enough for Red to snag the slip of paper. Brooks continues on, scooping the cigarettes off the cart and into his pocket. Interior red cell, night. Red folds the slip of paper. Penciled neatly in it is a single word, thanks. Interior prison laundry, day. We are assaulted by the deafening noise of the laundry line. Andy is doing his job, getting good at it.
Dufresne, we're low on Hexlight. Head on back up and fetch us some.
Andy nods. He leaves the line, weaving his way through the laundry room and into interior, back room, stock area, day. A dark, tangled maze of rooms and corridors, boilers and furnaces, sump pumps, old washing machines, pallets of cleaning supplies and detergents, you name it. Andy hefts a cardboard drum of hexalite off the stack, turns around, and finds bogged diamonds in the aisle, blocking his way. Rooster looms from the shadows to his right. Pete Vernay on the left, a frozen beet. Andy slams the hexalite to the floor, rips off the top, and scoops out a double handful.
You get this in your eyes, it blinds you.
Honey, hush.
Andy Andy backs up, holding them at bay, trying to maneuver through the maze. The sisters keep coming, tense and guarded, eyes riveted, engaging his every move, trying to outflank him. Andy trips on some old suggles? Suglies? Is that a typo?
Suglies?
That's all it takes. They're on him in an instant, kicking and stomping. Andy gets yanked to his feet. Boggs applies a chokehold from behind. They propel him across the room and slam him against an old four-pocket machine, bending him over. Rooster jams a rag into Andy's mouth and secures it with a steel pipe, like a horse bit. Andy kicks and struggles, but Rooster and Pete have his arms firmly pinned. Boggs whispers in Andy's ear.
That's it. Fight better that way.
Andy keeps screaming, muffled by the rag. Camera pulls back, slowly widening. The big Washex blocks our view. All we see is Andy's screaming face and the man holding him down. The camera drifts from the room, leaving the dark place and the dingy act behind, moving up empty corridors, past concrete walls and steel pipes.
I wish I could tell you that Andy fought the good fight, and the sisters let him be. I wish I could tell you that, but prison is no fairy tale world.
We emerge into the prison's laundry past the guard, widening for a final view of the line. The giant steel mangler is slapping down in brutal rhythm. The sound is deafening.
He never said who did it, but we all knew.
Prison montage, 1947 through 1949. Andy plods through his days, working, eating, chipping, and scraping his rocks after lights out.
Things went on like that for a while. Prison life consists of routine, and then more routine.
Andy walks the yard, face swollen and bruised.
Every so often, Andy would show up with fresh bruises.
Andy eats breakfast, a few tables over. Boggs blows him a kiss.
The sisters kept at him. Sometimes he was able to fight them off, sometimes not.
Oh, God. Andy backs into a corner in some dingy part of the prison, wildly swinging a rake at his tormentors.
He always fought. That's what I remember. He fought because he knew if he didn't fight, it would make it that much easier not to fight the next time.
The rake connects, snapping off over somebody's skull. They beat the hell out of him.
Half the time it landed him in the infirmary.
Interior solitary confinement. The whole night. A stone closet, no bed, sink, or lights. Just a toilet with no seat. And Andy sits in bare concrete, bruised face slit by a faint ray of light falling through the tiny slit in the steel door.
The other half, it landed him in solitary. Warden Norton's grain and drain vacation. Bread, water, and all the privacy you could want.
Interior prison laundry. Day. Andy is working the line.
And that's how it went for Andy. That was his routine. I do believe those first 2 years were the worst for him. And I also believe if things had gone on that way, this place would have got the best of him. But then, in the spring of 1949, the powers that be decided that
Exterior prison yard. Day. Warden Norton addresses the assembled cons via bullhorn.
The roof of the license plate factory needs resurfacing. I need a dozen volunteers for a week's work. We're going to be taking names in this steel bucket here.
Red glances around at his friends. Andy also catches his eye.
it was outdoor detail, and May is one damn fine month to be working outdoors.
Exterior prison yard. Day. Cons shuffle past, dropping slips of paper into a bucket.
More than 100 men volunteered for the job.
Red saunters to a guard named Tim Youngblood, mutters discreetly in his ear. Exterior prison yard. Day. Youngblood is pulling names and reading them off. Red exchanges grins with Andy and the others.
Wouldn't you know it? Me and some fellas I know were among the names called.
Interior prison corridor. Night. Red slips Youngblood 6 packs of cigarettes.
Only cost us a pack of smokes per man. I made my usual 20%, of course.
Exterior license plate factory. Day. A tar cooker bubbles and smokes. 2 cons dip up a bucket of tar and tie a rope to the handle. The ropes goes taut. Camera follows. The bucket of tar up the side of the building to the roof, where it is relayed to the work detail. And men are dipping big pad brushes and spreading the tar. Angles over to Brian Hadley, bitching sourly to his fellow guards.
So this shithead lawyer calls long distance from Texas, and he says, Byron Hadley? I say, yeah. He says, sorry to inform you, but your brother just died. Damn, Byron, sorry to hear that. I ain't. He's an asshole. Run off years ago. Family ain't heard from him since. Figured him for dead anyway, so this lawyer prick says, your brother died a rich man, oil wells and shit, close to $1 million. Jesus, it's freaking incredible how lucky some assholes can get. $1 million? Jeez Louise, you get any of that? 35,000. That's what he left me. Dollars? Holy shit, that's great. Like winning a lottery, ain't it? Dumb shit. What do you figure the government's gonna do to me? Take a big wet bite out of my ass is what? Oh, hadn't thought of that. Maybe leave me enough to buy a new car with. Then what happens? You pay tax on the car, repairs and maintenance. Goddamn kids pestering you to take them for a ride and drive it if they're old enough. That's right, wanting to drive it, wanting to learn on it. For Christ's sake. Then at the end of the year, if you figure the tax wrong, they make you pay out of your own pocket. Uncle Sam puts his hands in your shirt and squeezes your tit till it's purple. Always get the short end, that's a fact. Some brother shit.
The prisoners keep spreading tar, eyes on their work.
Poor Byron, what terrible fucking luck. Imagine inheriting $35,000.
Crying shame. Some folks got it awful bad.
Red glances over and is shocked to see Andy standing up, listening to the guards talk.
Hey, you nuts. Keep your eyes on your pail.
Andy tosses his pad to the bucket and strolls towards Hadley.
Andy, come back. Shit.
What's he doing? Getting himself killed?
God damn it.
Just keep spreading tar?
The guards stiffen at Andy's approach. Youngblood's hand goes to his holster. The tower guards click-clack their rifle bolts. Hadley turns, stupefied, to find Andy there.
Mr. Hadley, do you trust your wife?
That's funny. You're gonna look funnier sucking my dick with no fucking teeth.
What I mean is, do you think she'd go behind your back, try and hamstring you?
That's it. Step aside, Mert. This fucker's having himself an accident.
Oh, Hadley grabs Andy's collar and propels him violently towards the edge of the roof. Then the cons furiously keep spreading tar.
Oh God, he's gonna do it. He's gonna throw him off the roof. Oh shit, oh fucker, Jesus.
Because if you do trust her, there ain't no reason in the world you can't keep every cent of that money.
Hadley abruptly jerks Andy to a stop right at the edge. In fact, Andy's past the edge. Beyond his balance, shoe tips scraping the roof. The only thing between him and an ugly drop to the concrete is Hadley's grip on the front of his shirt.
You better start making sense.
If you want to keep that money, all of it, just give it to your wife. See, the IRS allows you a one-time gift to your spouse. It's good up to $60,000.
No, that ain't right. Tax-free.
Tax-free. IRS can't touch 1 cent.
The cons are pausing work, stunned by this business discussion.
You're the smart banker who shot his wife. Why should I believe a smart banker like you? So I can wind up in here with you.
It's perfectly legal. Go ask the IRS. They'll say the same thing. Actually, I feel silly telling you all this. I'm sure you would have investigated the matter yourself.
Oh, fucking A. I don't need no smart wife-killing banker to show me where the bear's shit in the buckwheat.
Of course not. But you will need someone to set up the tax-free gift, and that'll cost you. A lawyer example.
Ambulance chancing and highway robbing cocksuckers.
Or come to think of it, I suppose I could set it up for you. That would save you some money. I'll write down the forms you need, you can pick them up, and I'll prepare you for your signature, nearly free of charge. I'd only ask that 3 beers apiece for my coworkers, if that seems fair.
Co-workers. Get him, that's rich, ain't it? Co-workers.
Hadley freezes him with a look. Andy presses on.
And I think a man working outdoors, I guess it was a man working outdoors feels more like a man if he can have a little bottle of suds. Uh, that's only my opinion.
Sorry. The convicts stand gaping, all pretense. Oh shoot, hold on. Seriously? I'm getting an update notice. I can't. Hold on. Okay. Oh, all convicts stand gaping, all pretense of work gone. They look like they've been poleaxed. Hadley shoots them a look.
What are you, Jimmy, staring at? Back to work, goddammit.
Exterior license plate factory, day. As before, an object is hauled up the aisle at the building by rope. Only this time, it's a cooler of beer and ice.
And that's how it came to pass that on the second to last day of the job, the convict crew that tarred the plate factory roof in the spring of '49
Exterior roof, shortly later. The cons are taking the sun and drinking beer.
wound up sitting in a row at 10 o'clock in the morning, drinking icy cold black label beer, courtesy of the hardest screw that ever walked a turn at Shawshank State Prison.
Drink up, boys, while it's cold.
The colossal prick even managed to sound magnanimous.
What page are we on?
35.
35, hold on.
The bottom of it.
This went way past. 35?
Mine says 36 of 126, but I'm on sideways.
Oh, there we go. Okay. As before. Oh, okay. Exterior roof. Nope, I already passed that. Red knocks back another sip, enjoying the bitter cold on his tongue and the warm sun-on face.
We sat and drank with the sun on our shoulders and felt like free men. We could have been tarring the roof of one of our own houses. We were the lords of all creation. He glanced. Oh, sorry.
He glances over to Andy, squatting apart from the others.
As for Andy, he spent that break hunkered in the shade, a strange little smile on his face, watching us drink his beer.
Here's a cold one, Andy.
No thanks, I gave up drinking.
Haywood drifts back to others, giving them a look.
You could argue he'd done it to curry favors with the guards, or maybe make a few friends among us cons. Me, I think he did it just to feel normal again, if only for a short while.
Exterior, prison yard, the bleachers, day. Andy and Red play checkers. Red makes his move.
King me.
Chess, now there's a game of kings. Civilized, strategic.
And totally fucking inexplicable. Hate that game.
Maybe you'll let me teach you one day. I've been thinking of getting a board together.
You come to the right place. I'm the man who can get things.
We might do business on a board, but the pieces, I like to carve those myself. One side done in quartz, the opposite side done in limestone.
That'd take you years.
Years I've got. What I don't have are the rocks. Picking here is exercise are pretty in the exercise yard are pretty slim.
How's that rock hammer working out anyway? Scratch your name on your wall yet?
Not yet. I suppose I should.
Andy, I guess we're getting to be friends, ain't we?
I suppose we are.
I ask a question. Why'd you do it?
I'm innocent, remember? Just like everyone else in here.
Red takes this as a gentle rebuff, keeps playing.
What are you in for, Red?
Murder, same as you.
Innocent?
The only guilty man in Shawshank.
Interior, Andy's cell, night. Andy lies in his bunk after lights out, polishing a fragment of quartz by the light of the moon. He pauses, glancing at all the names scratched in the wall. He rises, makes sure the coast is clear, and starts scratching his name into the cement with his rock hammer, adding to the record. Ray Milland fills the screen in glorious and scratchy black and white, suffering a bad case of DTs. Interior, prison auditorium, night. While a convict audience hoots and catcalls, talking back to the screen, We find Red slouched in a folding chair, watching the movie. Andy enters, backlit by the flickering glare of the projector, and takes a seat next to him.
Here's the good part. Bugs come out of the walls to get his ass.
I know, I've seen it 3 times this month already.
Ray Milne starts screaming. The entire audience screams with him, high-pitched and hysterical. Andy fidgets.
Can we talk business?
Sure, what do you want?
Rita Hayworth, can you get her?
No problem. Take a few weeks.
Weeks?
Don't have her stuffed down my pants this very moment, sorry to say. Relax. What are you so nervous about? She's just a woman.
Andy nods, embarrassed. He gets up and hurries out. Red grins, turns back to the movie. Interior auditorium corridor, night. Andy exits the theater and freezes in his tracks. 2 dark figures loom in the corridor, blocking his path. Rooster and Pete. Andy turns back and runs right into Boggs. Instant bear hug. The sisters are on him like a flash. They kick a door open and drag him into the projection booth, where they confront the startled projectionist, an old con blinking at them through thick bifocals.
Take a walk. But I have to change reels. I said, fuck off.
Terrified, the old man darts past out the door. Pete slams and locks it. Boggs shoves Andy to the center of the room.
I know, I've seen it 3 times already this month.
Ray Milland starts screaming. The entire audience screams with him, high-pitched and hysterical. Wait. Did I just repeat something?
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird.
I think it's repeating a bunch of lines.
Oh,
yeah. We got to skip over this part.
Okay, here we go. Terrified, the old man darts past. I'm on page 41 of 126.
Yep.
Terrified, the old man darts past and out the door. Pete slams and locks it. Boggs shoves Andy to the center of the room. Emily?
What? Sorry. Where are we?
Page 41 of 126. Boggs.
Oh, we stopped, but ain't you gonna scream?
Andy sighs, cocks his head at the projector.
They never hear me over that. Let's get this over with.
Seemingly resigned, Andy turns around, leans on the rewind bench, and curls his fingers around a full one foot reel of 35mm film. Rooster licks his lips, pushes past the others. Oh, God.
Me first.
Okay.
Andy whips the reel of film around in a vicious arc, smashes it into Rooster's face and bouncing it off the wall.
Fuck, shit, he broke my nose.
Andy fights like hell, but is soon overpowered and forced to his knees. Boggs steps to Andy, pulls out an awl with a vicious 8-inch spike, gives him a good long look at it.
Now I'm gonna open my fly, and you're gonna swallow what I give you to swallow. And when you're mine, you're gonna swallow Rooster's. You done broke his nose, so we ought to have something to show for it.
Anything you want to put in my mouth, you're going to lose.
You don't understand. You do that, I'll put all 8 inches of this steel in your ear.
Okay, but you should know that the sudden serious brain injury causes the victim to bite down hard. Faint smile. In fact, I understand the bite reflex is so strong that the victim's jaws have to be pried open with a crowbar.
The sisters consider this carefully. The film runs out of the projector, flapping on the reel. The screen goes white.
You little fuck.
Andy gets a boot heel in the face. The sisters start kicking and beating the living shit out of him with anything they can get their hands on. In the theater, the convicts are chanting and clapping for the movie to come back on.
Boggs didn't put anything in Andy's mouth, and neither did his friends. What they did do was beat him within an inch of his life.
Interior infirmary day. Andy lies wrapped in bandages.
Andy spent a month in traction.
Interior solitary confinement day.
Boggs spent a week in the hole.
Boggs sits in bare concrete. The steel door slides open.
Time's up, Boggs.
Interior cell block 5. Third tier, dusk. Boggs comes up the stairs smoking a cigarette. Not many cons around. The place is virtually deserted. A voice echoes dimly over the PA system.
Return to your cell blocks for evening count.
Boggs enters his cell. Dark in here. He fumbles for the light cord, yanks it. The sudden light reveals Captain Hadley 6 inches from his face, waiting for him. Mert steps in behind Boggs, hemming him. Before Boggs can even open his mouth to say what the fuck, Hadley rams the tip of his baton brutally into his solar plex. Boggs doubles over, gagging his wind out. Ground floor. Ernie comes slowly around the corner, rolling a steel mop cart loaded with supplies. Second tier. Red is darting a sock in his open cell. He pauses, frowning, hearing strange thumping sounds. What the hell is that? Third tier. It's Hadley and Mert methodically and brutally pulping Boggs with their batons, kicking the shit out of him for good measure. He feebly tries to ward them off. Second tier. Puzzled, Red steps from his cell, following the sound. It dawns on him that it's coming from above. He moves to the railing and leans out, craning around to look up. Red's point of view. Just as Boggs flips over the railing and comes sailing, directly towards us, eyes bugging out, screaming as he falls. Red, slow motion. Jumps back as Boggs plummets past, missing him by inches. Arms swimming and trying to grab the railing, but missing that too. Screaming all the way down. Ground floor. The impacting on Ernie's gassing mop cart in an enormous eruption of solvents and cleaners. The cart is squashed flat, shouting out for
The narrator froze.
Oh, just give her a second then.
Earth to Cynthia.
Hold on.
Okay, then. Kicking up sparks for 30 yards, Ernie is left gaping in shock at Boggs and all the Boggs-related wreckage at his feet. Second tier. Red is stunned. He very tentatively leans out and looks up. Above him, Hadley and Mert lean on the third tier railing. Hadley tilts the cap back on his head, shakes his head. Damn, Byron, looked at that. Oh, poor fellow must have tripped. A tiny drip of blood drips off the toe of Hadley's shoe and splashes across Red's upturned cheek. He wipes it off and then looks down at Boggs. Cons and guards are racing to the scene.
2 things never happened again after that. The sisters never laid a finger on Andy again.
Exterior prison yard loading dock. Day 1949. Boggs, wheelchair bound and wearing a neck brace, is loaded onto an ambulance for transport. Behind the fence stand Red and his friends, watching.
And Boggs never walked again. They transferred him to a minimum security hospital upstate. To my knowledge, he lived out the rest of his days drinking his food through a straw. I'm thinking Andy could use a nice welcome back when he gets out of the infirmary.
Sounds good to us. Figure we owe him for the beer.
Man likes to play chess. Let's get him some rocks.
Exterior field. Day 1949. We're on page 45 of 126.
Hey, do you actually want to end there?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Sorry,
This was
my
good. We
computer
should-
died from low
This was
battery.
good. We should maybe pick this up sometime. I wouldn't mind maybe finishing this script sometime.
That was actually
Yeah.
kind of triggering. I wish we put like a little warning there.
Next time,
you
let's
know-
do a funny script, though.
I
That'd be
don't
hilarious.
remember these scenes when I watched the movie.
I don't
That's
remember
a
it
good.
either.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't
I've
remember
never seen
either.
it, so
Yeah, that's funny. I don't remember either. That's
Maybe we blocked
interesting.
that out, but
It was
it was
very
kind of
triggering.
horrific.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, who knows? Unless they could have maybe changed it a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
too.
Well, that's true. They could have cut those scenes out because it was triggering. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like
Maybe
for
this was the
there were
original.
some when we did Clerks, there were some lines that like were not there and that were not there in the actual movie, like the one about the most important job in the world being killing Chinamen for the railroad. And then
Oh.
in the actual movie that was replaced by that's why I have a job that matters, boys. I manually masturbate caged animals for artificial insemination.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was good though. This was, I think, like maybe one of the most enjoyable reads that we've had so far.
Yeah, it went really well. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Even though it was tough subject matter and I wasn't really expecting it, it was still like very engaging.
Sure.
Although reading that has made me want to rewatch it to see like.
Yeah,
how
me
much-
too.
Yeah, me too.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
Emily, you're calling the group.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I was almost gonna say maybe we should have a watch party sometime or something.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Shawshank Redemption.
How do you do those exactly? Do you just like watch them
I think
all
you
at the
share
same
your
time?
screen. Yeah, you share your screen and then you play it, or
Oh,
whoever has the
Somebody
access
with
to the movie.
Netflix plays it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you can chat somehow too, or I guess we would just use our own. We just use our chat platform.
Just use a chat platform. Most likely would be best.
Okay, so not on the screen share, or wait, what program would you use to share your screen?
Just the Zoom.
Oh, you would do it through Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed my students movies all the time, like on
okay.
Zoom class.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we should do that sometime. Is anyone doing anything tomorrow? Would you guys want to watch Shawshank tomorrow? I can't hear you. Everyone's gone quiet. I think that's my internet. That's my internet acting up. All right, no need to answer now since I can't hear you. We'll just we'll figure it out. All right, thanks everyone. Good times. We'll get an Oscar pretty soon.
Yeah.
There you go.